it's time that I find me a wife. More time, I don't have no type, but I wouldn't mind me a Leon man. Treat her right, I try. Find no things in life I buy. Wanna wine and dine, that's fine. If we go uptown, gotta hold that. Wanna fly to Dubai tonight, lastminute.com, I'll book that flight. See, don't be on the road too tough, but I still cut you with the local tugs. Coulda ran off the plug, but I kept it real and I showed him love. Lil' bro got the poker touch, where we grow up is so corrupt. Fancy me on the block, go nuts, I'm not in my bag, I'm loading. Back then it was hand to hand, nowadays I don't have no involvement. In the trap I stay on my own, I'm home alone, Macaulay coking. YJ no commented that it's complicated, cause the case still open. The boys in blue tryna find them clues in the station, problem solving.
Production.
Pussy, what you want from me? Pussy, I don't owe nobody. Front lines, all you see is cats calling. They only wanted up from me. Hey, see me right there, I'm with my family. In the middle of the streets with my family. Big hunting there for my family. Brick it to my family. Boss up, right from a killy, no cap. Boss up bell, make it ring like that. Have you ever seen a madman giggle after? You don't roll up a brother like that. You don't smoke like that. Hey, who want what? Big fat cool, get caught in your melon. BRG, man, I slap with a weapon. No Van Damme, man, slap with step. None boring, all of them roaches, I ain't that guy, man, I riding torches. Oh, them by appalling, no my enemies, them falling. Hey, back up, brick it on me. Kick back, man, so he says Van Damme. Oi, let up, we don't know about jamming. This is their ways, that's where I'm standing. Pussy, what you want from me? Pussy, I don't owe nobody. Front lines, all you see is cats calling. They only wanted up from me. Hey, see me right there, I'm with my family. In the middle of the streets with my family. Big hunting there for my family. Brick it to my family. Hey, Pele bow, that's how the gun sound. They chatting what's they took them round. Chitty, bang, bang, photo, tingo clap, tryna hit them figures. Ghetto baby, grow up round them killers. City full of spinners, never touch a civilian. 97 baby, king born a winner. No one villa, they ain't really diligent. I love that shit. Tell me to my wolf, let me hit that prick. What the fuck did do? Don't call me again. You wasn't banged up with me in the cell. Tell my babes off her wig. We're going to war. Load of the bills in the magazine. Make sure the blue skirt dirty, not clean. We go clean out the streets. Pussy, what you want from me? Pussy, I don't owe nobody. Front lines, all you see is cats calling. They only wanted up from me. Hey, see me right there, I'm with my family. In the middle of the streets with my family. Big hunting there for my family. Brick it to my family. That's how the gun sound. 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 That's how the gun sound.
Non-stop music.
Oh my God!
Yo son, you're listening to www.roadradio.live.
Hello baby, kilo shele. Omo, homole. Shake your bumper baby. Muy bonita, señorita. Te llamo mamacita. Hennessy no tequila. Caramba, shake up your bunda. Hello baby, kilo shele. Omo, homole. Shake your bumper baby. Muy bonita, señorita. Te llamo mamacita. Hennessy no tequila. Caramba, shake up your bunda. Baby shark. Goo gaga, going straight to the top. Mashallah, wanna get down step first of all. I would've picked her up, but I'm too maga. Stephanie, hot like lava, Afromet. Lady Gaga, take my time and rev, then go faster. Took a break, come back 10 times harder. I hit that plenty, missionary, I hit that gently. Bust my ting till my whole thing's empty. Wash, get shelly, so boy, get ready. She won't let me go, gal tip panto, then she wind down low. Man rise that pole and I let that go. 2-step red bunny, my blood, my bro. Yo, rev that ring, ding, ding, ching that ching, 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 back the fire and ping. Demon time I can feel the chin, chin, chin. Rev that ring, ding, ding, ching that ching, 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 back the fire and ping. Demon time I can feel the chin, chin, chin. Hello baby, kilo, shele, homole. Shake your bumper baby. Muy bonita, señorita. Te llamo mamacita. Hennessy no tequila. Caramba, shake up your bunda. Hello baby, kilo, shele. Homole. Shake your bumper baby. Muy bonita, señorita. Te llamo mamacita. Hennessy no tequila. Caramba, shake up your bunda. Rule like Friday, come with my niner. Gal take timer, look how she whine her. Bedroom bully ting, mash up vagina. 016 used to chop off a like her. Killy with a milli get, she won't get friggy bun. Don't get bun like cigarette. Man a big shark, you're a little fish. Yo, killy with a milli met Lizzie. She want it, Willie get friggy bun dicky. Unruly, cut through with my killies. As me man, really big Lizzie, no flicking. Your man so timid, baby told me why you're still with him. I can't respect them, boy, there's some gimmicks. Selective use, but they don't admit it. Rev that ring, ding, ding, ching that ching, 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 back the fire and ping. Demon time I can feel the chin, chin, chin. Rev that ring, ding, ding, ching that ching, 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 back the fire and ping. Demon time I can feel the chin, chin, chin. Hello baby, kilo, shele, homole. Shake your bumper baby. Muy bonita, señorita. Te llamo mamacita. Hennessy no tequila. Caramba, shake up your bunda. Hello baby, kilo, shele. Homole. Shake your bumper baby. Muy bonita, señorita. Te llamo mamacita. Hennessy no tequila. Caramba, shake up your bunda.
Fuse, the engineer.
Yo, kama wewe ni mchezi ma games na play, I'm so NY na KEA. Mjuni I'm breeding uka LA. Masai na madunga ma Merrill. Da kutoka SA, alinuzia ngama ka LA. Don't bother, hino kardinali, nite Don Munga. Uzu mini nani, taround nilimtukana na nikaturukana. Nilimpongesha kilami, Munga na wakana. Mwizi alikangwa, burundani burudani. Mtoto msichana, hana Montana. Kwanja na mira, niliacha kuzifanya hizo madawa, majaba na mira. Choma boza, Munga mamchicha, ati wako nichi, wachawi wanajificha. Nimetoka Moroto kwa jibika, hata kukinyesha mubai ya mjuni ya magriba. Bala, baba, umeshiba, na ujue misle usama, usoienda kuiba. Sanse walikuja na Mazda, idha fulani, nikikunywa chwada. Za ovyo tu kunihada, ati juu ya handas, utalala mada. Saizo niko madawa maduya, mtadu what? Vitu wanadu tunabu, wanabuya, wanaguaya. Still I'm living my dream, nataka benzo na bima. What you talking nani, neza kubaya kwa bana unasima. Kama siku chote mami, risto za free rider kuna. Nani, ni wakadinali ririma. Metoka Moroto tena kusakia ifenta mjuni ya tema. Metoka Moroto tena nkingia keja njumi na tepa. Metoka Moroto tena kusakia ifenta mjuni ya tema. Metoka Moroto tena nkingia keja njumi na tepa.
Alitaka ningiwe marungu, wapi join formally wanyungu. Tulimchunguch, nugu, tulimwonya 18 kiumungu. Mkate katwe nusu, biz legit tukiwa mina wuzu. Na nikuuliza tu, BBI corona inatusu. Atupoza takani kwa picha, na tudoz masasi upitisha. On toes jua mwezi tupita, na mekimia mwezi lilisha. Slaves design alupita, 12 years indaju ya kuiva. Bez usikamka umepika, uneza rudi Jack Desbila. Sijamanch tangu late match, siezi fight ya system corrupt. Na usifaska uwezi spa, nchi zingine pia woni mra. Nyako ulimtoa ba, malifisa nlianuari safu. Na kostuko na gun, haimanishi wingi around kusnatch. Kuna time likuwa kwa crowd, na kuna time ligeuzwa Steven. RIP my partner in crime, alikuwa stoned to death mtaji wa wizi. Senko exile pandiwe, on the road to mtini. RIP my partner in crime, alikuwa stoned to death mtaji wa wizi.
Still I'm living my dream, nataka benzo na bima. What you talking nani, neza kubaya kwa bana unazima. Kama siku chote mami, risto za free rider kuna. Nani, ni wakadinali ririma. Metoka mroto tena kusakia ifenta mjuni ya tema. Metoka mroto tena nkiingia keja njungu inatepa. Metoka mroto tena kusakia ifenta mjuni ya tema. Metoka mroto tena nkiingia keja njungu inatepa.
Yo, nimetoka keja tena, back in the streets, ducking police, nitakuwa mteja tena, chini matik, Patek Philips, juu ningeongezea mbwenya, huyo mtoto uscream, yaupenda hii stick, but ye wakashai kusema, bitch umerudi cyber tena, mi dosh na siwa side za tena, bro ashaingia chamber, cheki hizo side za pienga, pull up kondai na ndenga, bitch, dunga hiyo mpesa tena, yo nini na rhyme na era, mi siwezi smile na hera, ukitaka unapewa sahi, tukitoka ni best stylings, hatuzozi na wasiwasa ID, Island they know me, I say it for real, nina mbogi just me and my G's, jaza pori jumi uwanga busy, slowly I go on my knees, you fuck with my homie, you fuck it with me, for real, mi uwanga lyrical, nina ndenga, I had to leave it on, new iPhone to write my lyrics on, chwadi bugizi, jaba digital, macho ni indigo, drama ni mingi Joe, my blade not leave me alone, #easy oh.
Still I'm living my dream, nataka benzo na bima. What you talking nani, neza kubaya kwa bana unazima. Kama siku chote mami, risto za free ride kuna. Nani, ni wakadinali ririma. Metoka mroto tena kusakia ifenta mjuni ya tema. Metoka mroto tena nkiingia keja njungu inatepa. Metoka mroto tena kusakia ifenta mjuni ya tema. Metoka mroto tena nkiingia keja njungu inatepa.
This is Rogue Radio.
We interrupt this program to bring you...
Let's do all the drugs. I don't really want to.
Fucking smash, man. The weed's too strong.
Whoa, you're never gonna believe what time it is.
Smash, man. The weed's too strong.
Whoa, you're never...
Welcome to the 420 show, only on Rogue Radio. Na tafadhali tumetoka hiyo bullshit ya kuambia na matime juu apparently time ni kama imetoka taa. Dom, welcome, man.
Hey, cheers, man. Thank you for 20.
How have you been?
Niko salama. It's been a good week.
Niko la. Did you like nap out or something?
I was taking a nap. It's about to be a heavy show.
You nutted, yeah?
And bye.
You must have nutted. Mavo, the nympho. The theoretical nympho.
Wow.
Yani sikonda kusema yani weni simba bila meno, but
I wish you could see how his fingers touching me. He's maintaining contact, you know that.
Just to keep you intact. Yani, you know you're an info, bro. Anything you can be told, you can turn that shit into sex, yeah. Like,
you guys.
Yeah, bro, for real, man. Like, yo. Kama saizi nataka kuongelea police brutality, I just want to remind you it's a sensitive topic, man. You know, like, let's just not. Yeah, please.
How can you put sex into brutality with...
BDSM does all that shit.
Yeah, that's man. A petty comment. Because of the show. Just be the episode we had where you touched on that. Okay.
Yeah.
The episode we had.
Acha nikwambie, there was something via alikuwa amenisha jana ya some nigga talking about venye like usivai uniform ya ho and then utaikuitwa ho. It's confusing. It's like mimi nikivaa uniform ya karao alafu unione si utanikujia ile please come help. It doesn't mean kama nimevaa nguo ya karao mimi karao. Unajua that's the argument the Chiles bring, you know.
Those
so that I'm bringing that to nguo ya karao is so sexual nowadays, man. Unajua like unapata unaenda kufunga mtu pale mapingo na kuambia manze safe word kwanza, man. Unajua like, you know, like people like joking with that shit.
Yeah, but that hey.
But anyway, to on the sensitive part, eh?
There was a clip he was supposed to play for people to hear, right?
Before tuende hapo tumetoka kusikia hiyo ngoma. Wakadinali bana wametoa ngoma moto kama kawaida. Speaking of wakadinali, before hii time ya hii brutality and all, that was it 2 years back or 3 years back, walitoa ngoma fulani inaitwa kuna siku youths wataungana.
It's 2 years back.
It was 2 years back, right?
Yeah.
Manze, it was some dope piece, manze. Saizi ndio ina come into play because saizi ndio my youth wanaungana. Yeah.
Guys can connect to the song, right?
Yeah. People can on the kuna siku youth wataungana. something like that.
Maulana. Wakadinali.
Sasa hizo kuna hiyo ngoma mpya inaitwa Umoroto inamaanisha
Moroto. First of all imetoka kwa jina Moroto. Moroto ni shanty. Msa anaishi kwa ghetto yenye ni nyumba ya mabati, anasema anaishi kwa Moroto. Lakini sasa juu siku hizi ni kaa ghetto, wanasema wanatoka Umoroto.
That's some dope shit bana. Tukiongelea umo tena tuguzie koma ama sijui ni wapi bana, kuna mjamaa alimadwa. Bro, when we are talking about police brutality, I think it's haina to exposure enough.
Is it that the exposure has been there because people have always associated police with brutality? But I think
the car size venye na happen unaona nika like it has been happening, then size ndio ukiangalia kama hao maboys wa Embu hao wenye walidedi size apparently their grandma has died too.
She passed on from
depression apparently. I don't know how someone does that, but it's something size.
It was actually low blood sugar.
Oh yeah.
She when she found out her when she found out her just being her nephews,
her grandchildren.
She just lost it, man. Which is so sad because I mean, the 21st century to be losing young guys like that though, because of basically the stigmatization.
So far, hata si stigmatization. Kukufa just stigmatization. Walikufa juu ya curfew, bro.
But don't you think those guys still look like the way they looked, yeah? Kuna hii stigma ya wase wenye kuna dread na nini.
Hiyo iko ndio, lakini
so if it was I feel like if it was guys in suits.
The association here is because they died. They were like taken in, and they died on the way.
It was actually a COVID issue. Walikuwa wamepata
breaking curfew.
Unaona na hiyo curfew imeclaim watu 28. Since the corona yanza, I think imeclaim size watu 28. Na hiyo tujaingia kwa 40 something wenye wamekula injury. Unanigete, so apparently saizi tunagonga hizo numbers just because of a curfew. The curfew that is not making sense right now. Yota kelele tunaendelea kupiga tukisema venye ndio there's police brutality and all that. It's cause the police and any other force is given the platform.
Is given the mandate. You think
ukitoa kitu vituka curfew, bro, as in utoa vitu ka curfew, utoa vitu kama kupatia polisi full hiyo nini above the law
authority and the like,
full board authority and whatever,
carte blanche.
Mtu anaweza ingia place yako venye anadai juu ni karao, unaona unaweza shikwa na karao kwa mbibuni patia ID huko ya nini.
It's actually even illegal for them to enter your car. There's a time was called for backup. Connect your backup.
Unless they have probable cause.
Because they had when Karan Kominishika, and I was driving. I was not the car that was in the wrong. And I told him, if you want to catch me, catch the car that was in the wrong first. Nikufuate nyuma. Bro, he was not having that shit.
Waka insist lazima.
Jamani ananitia backup. Nasikia tu over error.
So yule mwenye amekufanyia makosa ameachwa aende.
Yeye mzee mwenye amenishika yangu, and then the issue was I put down my window and then he saw as a young guy. Kuna studs na nini. So akona hapa kuna $2 sign.
Hapa kuna $1.
Hapa kuna $1 kachi $2 sign, and then the next thing I knew it's a big thing. I had his station nini is calling for me back up because now even me I'm being hard-headed because even now tuko tunapeana maneno. Mimi nikaenda station nikamwambia kena hivi nikapena kifunguo nikamwambia huyu jamaa wenyewe ananishika na nongesha vibaya kwa nini. So
asa kuandikia kitu ufala.
Sasa of course there kidogo nilikuwa nasikia akisema resisting arrest.
Mimi unajua bana sehemu upatana nao inakuwa ni kitu nyingine tu haiko juu hata niwaambie sina do yani hiyo ni shit. They're not taking that shit.
They're not taking that shit. You know, they can even plant on you something.
Yeah.
Unaweza hivi ukitani kitu hivi kidogo kidogo, ameplant kitu hapo.
So yeah, when tukiongelea hiyo part ya brutality, I think hiyo ni kesi yenyewe. Hata kama saa hizi yenye tukisema COVID imefika mahali imefika, you know.
Yeah.
So right now like we also just trying to adapt with how we can adapt. The government has also tried to adapt
how they adapted.
You know even
wameka mamat saa hizi ni full capacity.
That's towards the business.
So it is an adaptation, meaning if you can do that, then please adapt pia for the night businesses.
You know the thing I'd wanted to add, in Uganda, the police were also accused of being very rough with people. Then the president passed it in a statement, and I think it became mandate that they should be easy on people who are caught breaking curfew. You know?
Uganda,
if you're caught
you guys have a
outside
curfew.
This is not a Uganda. Huni alienda shule huko.
They have curfew.
Mavigas have a curfew.
They have curfew.
For what time?
Same as here, except there was a time it was at 4 to 9, 4 to 7. They've almost been following us toe in toe with ours and theirs. So it's like between the two. But the thing I'm saying is, the thing of the police brutality, until the press like drops it down on them and tells them, you guys, you have to now be softer on the people. You can apprehend them, yes. But this thing of being caught stroking people, you guys, it has to cut down. It has to come from the top of that.
You see, the thing is, Marv, I think, honestly, at this particular point, the government has noticed that there is so much dissent from the people. And so they're trying so hard right now to make the people afraid, because they know when it comes to the elections, the people will be willing to stand together to speak as one voice, and that if they perpetrate such at that particular time, then it will be perceived as, you know, police violence and brutality on an international scale. So right now what you're seeing for me is adaptation, just as Dizo has said. They're adapting to the present circumstances, and we are still remaining the same.
Tunawekwa hivi, bado tunawekwa scared.
Exactly.
You can't do shit. Ukifanya tu kitu hivi, it's a case that in arise. Because there was a time nilituma pia link hapo hivyo ya venye eradication ya some, is it dude? It's in Wajir, some place which is Kitambo.
Yeah, it's called the Wagala Massacre.
The Wagala Massacre.
Let me pull it up for you guys.
Ase walikuwa na hii cultural war.
Yes.
Then the cultural war, the week after kuinvadiwa ile wakaona waezani wakaran to the government. The government ikakuja ikapena ultimatum ikaambia ase pianeni hizo guns zenu hizo guns zenu zote. That community gave out 8 guns.
A whole community, 8.
Okay, so here it says, at the time Benson Karia, now retired, was the overall powerful PC in the region. Now that's the northern region. The Degodia clan surrendered guns, 8 rifles, just as Dizo is saying. The government took it as a mockery and started a disarming operation, which was mounted to disarm the Degodians. That set the stage for what followed over a period of 3 days that left an undeniable mark on Kenya's history. At the crack of dawn, soldiers arrive at the Wagala village in Wajir town. Soldiers weren't here to knock on doors. They systematically started kicking in doors and pulling out mails. In 1984, most household doors rocked flimsy, thatched mats, blah, blah, blah. The soldiers beat men with rungus and rifle butts, throwing them on the army trucks for transport, where they found a man. They only inquired of their clan. Woe unto you if you mention Degodia. So the roundout operation happened, and these people were taken, almost 5,000 men were taken to the Mandera airstrip. And at that particular moment, that's when the police started, you know, the police were there, they were manning the people, but when the army came, the army came with violence. So they started beating this man, and one as in, because it's hot, huko northeastern kunafikanga hata sijui 40s sijui ngapi. So mtoi mmoja akatoka mbuga ile, yani mimi naogopa, akahepa mazee, akafiatuliwa yake ya kichwa. Unaona? So okay, this is just an example just to show that police brutality didn't start yesterday, and the government didn't start covering up their tracks.
Na pia the government si ati government yetu ilianza na police brutality, ni mali tuliichukua from.
Exactly.
You know, ukiangalia the colonial administration pia si ati ilikuja soft.
But see, the police force back in the day was just to mandate control. It was not actually
still
back in
is
the day, the Kenya
still
police,
is
it still is. The Kenya police forces were back in the day were not. It was a mandate for them to have control over the people.
Policing, security.
When you umesema only 8 guns.
Anytime when the army takes over.
How do you get 8 guns from
when
a
the army
community?
takes over? If you look at any country where the army has taken over, it's always been a mess.
It's always has.
Always there's always massacres. It's a mess. It's just the army, the way they operate. You know, the army. It's a change of mind.
That's a system.
It's a system.
Hata wenyewe wanatuita raia. Wakole kwenye raia.
Hao wanatuita raia. Si hao si raia.
Hao wametolewa uraia.
Yeah, those guys are their command. Their command is to follow the order.
Yes, but there are instances.
A police officer can have a thought.
Yes.
But a military officer won't think twice.
There are instances where the military has come in because it saw the country is going like down a slippery slope, a really bad one. The military comes in, they kick out the president, then they say they're going to hold elections.
That's in the form, like for example, in Nigeria. In Nigeria, it happened when the military took over. It's a coup. It's a coup d'etat. Yeah. So in Nigeria, that happened when they were taking over from Olusegun Obasanjo at that particular time. The military is the one that came in, and remember, Olusegun was partially part of the military before they actually took over. So that's just an example to show that the military, yes, can be used in civil duties, but only to a certain extent. The issue in Kenya here is that we have instituted the military in form of what we have here in Nairobi, NMS, the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. That's being run by
General Body.
And the thing is, he's holding civil office that is against the constitution. But we're not having, and Kenyans are not having that conversation. Why is a military officer holding civil office?
Isn't Kenya commissioned of the military at the moment?
There are various
the court gave
under the military. Me personally, I think Kenyans need that kind of discipline.
Yes, there's the order which the military brings.
Why do you say?
Let me say why. Let me say why I say that. You see, personally, me personally, let me say, I was before I even there's a point in my life I'd wanted to enroll into the Royal British Military Forces. I was obsessed with it. I was going to go into that whole thing. I'd gone through the applications and stuff, and I can tell you what I learned about the military. There's this kind of discipline, that the military has that Kenyans need. You get, like military personnel are not as easy to corrupt. They have they're very systematic. You see, and Kenyans need that, by the way, because if you look at what NMS has been able to achieve, and what City Council has been able to achieve,
it's
like what?
Worlds apart.
It's like worlds apart. What NMS was just formed this year. It became in operation. NMS was formed a very long time ago, but it became in operation this year. And what they've been able to do in a short time, is outstanding. If you go to town right now, the food pumps, even the water,
the safety,
toilets,
the security,
the public. The public places, the clean. It's
Wacha nikwambie mali that shit fails. Hakuna mahali tunani discipline ya
military mahali popote.
Bro, mahali tunani disciplinary ya military ni our leaders.
We need to clear out the leadership iko. So if the military would come out to clean out or to clean house in government, for example, and then leave that office for civilians, that would be rightfully so. Or
unaona hiyo yenyewe unasema you can't waive a military personnel. Ni same na hiyo
It's-
discipline ikaekwa kwa our leaders, hakutakuwa na hii
But now, see,
corruption,
hakuna,
hakutakuwa na hii
but,
bullshit.
hiyo dizo izitoka.
Huh?
that
Corruption
is
and politics
inherent.
go hand in hand.
Then we don't need that discipline, bro.
That's what
Meaning mimi unataka kuletea hii discipline huku chini, and then kuna wale corrupt wenye wanaweza kuwa wanasonga huko. You get me? Hiyo
Yeah,
utaendelea
yeah,
kutuumiza while you are building other people. We
For
don't
the-
need that discipline if it's not applied entirely. Military hakuna ati kuna mahali yenyewe huyu ako favored na huyu hayuko favored, si ndio?
It's not my-
Then
it's clear
waianzishe hiyo waipeleke to the roots, not to us. You don't drop a military to your people.
I feel like okay.
The thing
in
is,
terms of
Dom,
what happened, eh?
The thing is, I mean, it is very ironical that right now we are in a situation where there's other military forces in the region that are developing far much better skill and in, let's say, arsenal than we are as Kenyans, and yet Kenya,
The Kenyan army.
a decade ago, the Kenyan army was the best army in East and Central Africa.
No, no,
Actually,
no.
probably
no. Right now,
Kenyan
right,
army
Kenya-
hadn't 20 years ago participated in any active war.
The Kenyan army right now.
Marvin, please get facts right.
Do you
Because
remember, do you remember
I-
between?
I-
do you
I'm
remember the war
Fact
from
check.
Uganda and
Position of information.
Tanzania? Do you
What?
remember of a war between Uganda and Tanzania?
Yes, and Kenya mediated, and that's when.
But did Kenya participate in that war?
They
They
didn't
mediated. They
participate.
didn't
They-
send soldiers on the ground, so you can't say they had the experience of being the best army.
Do you
An army is
remember? Do you
usually
remember?
judged
Do you
by
remember
how well it participates in the wars it takes part in.
who were the biggest contributors to settling the war that was then in 1994 in Sierra Leone?
I don't know who was it.
Nigga, it was Kenya. That was then when we
highest
were ranked
contributing force?
the best land force in the continent of Africa.
Maybe say trained,
is now
but
different,
as far as
considering
war,
South
as far as
Africa-
war goes, if we go right now, the largest contributor to the AU, the African Union forces, is Uganda. So as far as experience goes and stuff, if you are to say Uganda and Tanzania have more of the experience, I'll agree with you.
You
there.
have more boots on the ground, but with less experience. That's what I'm saying.
I think when it comes to the Kenyan army, the Kenyan army has been, in my point of view, the Kenyan army is one of the most
But either way,
developed and best trained military forces
In Africa.
But where we even withered was, remember, even when we tried our insertion into Somalia, it was not very well planned. It was not very well carried out. We had multiple casualties. Remember the time there was the time our troops were caught.
In ad what?
Our troops were caught when they were ambushed. Such a bad thing. Our troops had to hide.
I remember
They
they
were
were
massacred.
attacked.
juu hapa
They were
nini.
attacked
Yeah.
in Somalia.
They were
They were attacked
massacred.
in the
It was
middle of the
hapo
night.
They were massacred. But what I feel like moving forward, because even the conversations that need to be had, because I feel like at the rate at which the political tension is going in right now in the country, police brutality is going to be on the increase.
Naturally,
Because
with a political system that is shaky, police brutality is
gonna
also
be on an increase. Because
cascades.
if you see how the fever is going into the 2022 next year elections, right? We have a youth right now that's very outspoken. You know, guys are standing up for that. Guys are like, "Oh, this is a problem. These things cannot be happening. How can we have a budget of 44 billion for elections, etc.? How can we have a deputy and a president who are not seeing eye to eye?" Ruto this week, unyaniambia Ruto nini? If you're uncomfortable with the systems and how government is being run indirectly, quit. Leave. There's clear cut.
But sio ni kuiran Q army.
That's like there's clear cut big tensions in this country, and
There have
Na hiyo
always
ndo
been
unasema
big
that's
tensions
what we need.
during-
imagine
Na hiyo ndo
during
unasema that's
So
what
what
we
you're
need.
saying we need?
I feel that the military aspect
No,
of
no.
discipline on our leaders should be very much enforced. Unakumbuka and
On
I'm
our
so-
leaders,
on our
oh,
leaders, yeah.
uh-huh.
Unakumbuka as much as it's sad to say, in 2007, a big contributor to the post-election violence was the messages that were being contributed, the messages were being carried out by political leaders.
Insightful.
The insightful messages. That was a big motivator to why there was such serious clash between clans.
Plus, there'd
You know,
always been that
and feel
underlying
right now,
tension.
right now, unaona hata umekuwa ukicheki vile sahi political leaders already expecting certain votes from particular regions.
As is
Unaona?
expected.
And it's not sitting well with established leaders from that particular region. For the longest time, our president has felt threatened in the central region because he feels like he's lost his momentum.
The thing is, we do not give a fuck about him losing his momentum. In fact, we give a fuck more about him leaving fucking office.
Kwanza hata saizi tumeruka huko,
we
tumeruka
have
Do you think that
tulikuwa
guy-
mahali pa police brutality.
Exactly.
yes,
Tulikuwa
yes.
mahali pa
Kazini.
police brutality.
Na nitarudia, we are being led with a military system.
Yeah.
Unajua huyu mse anaweza decide
Disguised as a democracy.
like anaweza decide tu unajua nini hii nini lazima hii curfew itaendelea with no
tangible evidence to support it.
to support the curfew. Unaona juu kidogo unashtukia Raila amehold nini huko.
How does he even have office to date? You know, these have never asked themselves how that is.
He's the leader of
Influence.
opposition.
He's only in office by virtue of the handshake. I mean,
You know, as in
and it's a created position. It's nothing
It's
that was
influence,
in
right.
that
I
and
know,
still
but
is in government.
It's
It's
sad
nothing.
that, you know, guys are always, and this is not, I hope this doesn't rub people the wrong way, but you know, Raila has never done anything for Kibaki. For example, there's a stronghold. That's his stronghold.
He's
really.
done actually
has.
okay. He's done very, I'd say very little.
He's done
honestly,
very
because
little for Kibaki.
if
What's
the-
this guy who passed on? Unfortunately, it's so sad to say. Okoth.
yeah.
Okoth did so much more.
Na bado mkumbuke ni
And
police
Raila.
brutality, but tunaendelea.
So, he passed
You
on
know-
he achieved much more than Raila did in his tenure, right before he fell sick. And it's just like, what does it take for Kenyans to wake up? Jamani, that thing is so frustrating.
So
You
coming
can't-
back,
Do you know-
coming back to the point,
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're talking about
Ye-
police brutality,
yes,
and you're
yes.
also speaking about exacerbating factors to Kenyans' uprising, najua, against a system that is clearly not for the people. Because right now, I don't know if let me play the clip first, and then we can get into the conversation.
Yes.
Because I felt like this fucking OCPD didn't even go to school somewhere. He was just, posted there to I don't know, whatever. Handle someone else's business.
Hakuwa nakuba wewe unajua sila polisi pale si lazima uende
No, I don't know whether he's a tuk-tuk driver. Well, I need to confirm that because you see, no, I don't know whether he's a tuk. It's all very disorganized. But someone said that. Someone said that someone. Lakini wewe wakati una confront askari akiwa kazini na ako na silaha, what do you expect? You expect him to run away? To leave wache properties za watu ziharibike? We cannot allow that. So if you ukiattack askari akiwa kazini, expect also to be met by the same similar force that you are using. We cannot allow lawlessness. People just doing whatever they want. So if kama aligongwa, lakini watu wajue kuheshimu sheria. Simple as that. So I don't want to tell you kuna mtu aligongwa, lakini ukiataka askari unataka fanya nini? The moment you attack a police officer who has been sent here for work and he's armed.
Okay. Also, other allegations that we're getting here is that there was no notice, to notify them that they need to move from the roadside. Could you say about
No, regarding notices, that's not my docket. I have no any idea. That is a reserve of the agencies that are responsible.
That is very stupid.
If there was a notice or no notice, that one I cannot comment. The only person who can comment is the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. As for me, I came here to quell violence. I came here to return peace. Basically, that's what I can say.
Just holding that video there, I mean, honestly, he's said, and quite clearly, that the only point of reference that we can have is the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. That is after the
Hapo ilikuwa wapi
conversation.
hapo?
This is Kawa West. There's two people
Was
who
this
are
today?
murdered.
Today?
This is today.
Yeah.
Two people who are murdered by police officers. I'm saying murdered because they didn't have any. How konasila? Nona. When you're confronting a police officer, you can confront police officers. It's not like there's no other country in the world where we've seen demonstrations being held and police officers holding the line instead of immediately reacting to do something to the public. This is a position where right now a police officer in his capacity,
an armed police officer,
the OCPD,
armed police
and
officer.
this is the OCPD wa Kahawa West. Anasema, what do you expect? Then why the fuck do we have Kiganjo? What kind of training processes do they go for in Kiganjo?
Yeye chenye anasema ni Karawa akifika chenye amesema ndio ifanyike.
Exactly. As in,
so
bora amesema haufai ku question kitu yoyote Karawa amesema, which is very stupid. Can we
give a background of what happened in Kahawa West?
What happened in Kahawa West?
In case there's someone who doesn't know, who's tuned in.
What happened today?
2 people were killed.
Let me give you.
Yani walishutiwa, mimi hata nilidhani ni accident wamegongwa na tuktuk.
There were serious protests today in Kahawa West.
Okay, so the Independent Policing Oversight Authority has launched investigations into the death of a man during protests in Githurai, Kahawa area, Kiambu County on Wednesday. IPO chairperson Ann Makori, which I don't think atafanya kitu yoyote, said the authority received a report of the death as police alleged responded to contain a demonstration over the demolished roadside structures. The investigation will seek to determine whether death falls onto the authorities' mandate of holding the police accountable and whether the deceased succumbed to the injuries allegedly caused by the officer. Imagine, we're still at this particular point, despite having numerous eyewitnesses.
Wait.
We're still saying alleged.
Were in retaliation for the NYS demolitions?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
so the demolitions.
You see, the thing is, why is the government feeling that they can operate and do anything that they want without the public's notice? Because what happened is walienda usiku wakabomoa hizo manini za awase katikati ya and there were some that still hadn't been demolished. And so when they were coming into when the public was coming into the foray, they were coming into a tiff between police officers who are saying these structures needed to be demolished.
Yes.
So basically these are people who are saying, this is our livelihood. We don't want you doing this, or at least you should have given us notice for us to look for alternate means to provide for our families, because this fucking government is not going to do that.
The one thing I can agree with you.
Notice.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask. Because most of the time when these things are being done,
and that's
there's a notice that is given. So if the notice was given and the time had... Okay, continue.
That's why police anasema, as in we don't care. Yeye anasema, I don't care about the notice. Ask yourself, what are the procedures before you
there's some coldness to that guy, though.
Exactly.
There's a big problem. There's even a wider problem here, V. Yeah, because I feel like this has a problem to do with class. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like me, what I'm getting from that image is placing where there were apartments or something that needed to be demolished. Do you remember that case in Karen when they were building that overstretch Chapo Gallery? Those houses that needed to go down. Those houses never went down until the court was until the court case was hard, because the government was
the people who stay there have enough influence to.
So the first problem is, why were these people being taken like that?
Those cases nabomolewa usiku hizo ni mamabati manini.
Thank you.
You know, the time when they think people won't be there.
Exactly. When they can just do this shit in secret and then get away with it. That's the first issue. The second issue.
V?
This is a guy's life who we can't get back. I don't understand how this guy is talking like.
Ukichokoza Karao mwenye akona gun una expect nini?
So with this, I don't want to sound like I'm making a careless statement, but with every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. Which means that at this particular point, with all the dissent that we are growing as Kenyans, what will happen? Because ultimately tunaenda kufika position enye wase wanataka kuanza go against the police. Yani literally we are going for the police by virtue of what they are doing to us. And the police, mind you, are only carrying out the orders or the wishes from up above. Up above being government, positions in government. So akuna venye mimi saa hii naona nika hii election enye tunaenda, I don't think there's going to be
serious chaos.
It's going to be
serious
utter
chaos.
fucking
Bro, hadi hata
chaos.
yani mimi hata chenye inanishtua mo ni that guy says walienda huko ku bring peace
and they ended up killing someone.
Which
yeah, like as in so you can't be provoked as in wewe umeenda huko kuna msee mwenye amelose vitu amelose
that video of the
you know, so there needs to be some patience. Ama nyinyi mmeenda kusomea nini?
Do you know that video?
Mlienda mkusoma kuua watu?
Did you guys see that video of the NYS guys who beat up this guy in a bus?
That was part of the huo ni mtu wa NYS.
The one kuna chapa mse.
Walikuwa training.
Those two guys walikuwa kimchapa.
Hiyo ni training yao hiyo.
Because that guy asked them to wear a mask. You know,
yeah, I mean you cannot be harassing us.
You ni bare unacheki vile msana chapo. Nika it's like they're dealing with some kind of creature.
You know,
anachapo ile bare ya you know.
Wacha nikushow kenye mimi I'm not saying that I'm calling or inciting for violence, but I'm saying, listen, police officers, you're dealing with human beings, just people who have families just like you. These are people who are also trying to fend for their livelihood. But ikifika situation enye munapushwa say to the corner, mi na feel hata sahi it's a deliberate push to the end. They want to see, and the government wants to see how far can the public go before they make a push to fight for their rights. Because right now there is that consistent push to fight against what normally would be the rights of Kenyan citizens.
Yes, you have a right to protest here, so long as you to hold a demonstration, as long as you give the authorities notice.
Apparently.
You know, that's the first thing, because
and it has to be a peaceful protest.
In the process where you might damage property, you people can be held liable. Now here their property has been damaged, right? So they're coming to protest. Now peaceful protests most of the time have an organized group of people, an organized mob moving in a certain direction to either broadcast a message or send a message through. Then when you have a few individuals in that protest who are nefarious by nature, and then they end up tarnishing it. You see, we have heard of these two people being killed. They were shot, right?
They were.
Yeah.
Now, when were they shot? Were they stealing within that peaceful protest?
It was nothing like stealing. These are individuals who are fighting for the right to keep their shanties or their businesses up and running.
Yes.
So ikuwa ati pia wako huko vurugo.
Si ati hao walikuwa wameenda vurugo.
Saizi tumetoka kuongelelea juzi tu tumetoka kuongelea walikuwa wameangusha mtu Kayole. Saizi ndio hii tena Kahawa ndio hiyo wameangusha watu wawili.
Before Kayole, you can remember in I think Embu, they burnt a police a police vehicle.
Yes,
and
the ones
I
they
think
flipped.
one or two officers were disarmed, but wakarudisha hizo ndenga zao stage pamoja na hao masansi. So you see, the thing is, people have already started reacting, and the government is seeing, listen, hao wase wanachangamka kujishughulikia, lakini sisi tunataka tujishughulikie. Tunataka tujishughulikie na tuendelee kujishughulikia. So the best thing and the only tool that they have to use is security, the security forces, because that's the machinery the government has to quell whatever
insurrection
is a dissent.
Bro, in fact, nataka tuongelele hii part ya millennials. But after the break, Jumi nasikia by the
yeah, it's not an easy thing to discuss.
You know, you know how sensitive it is, considering it's affecting not only the lives of other people, it's also affecting investments, it's affecting...
Yeah, because the insecurity brings all those...
Bro, see country peke, hii dunia kama una do ama una influence, you ain't shit, bro.
Anyway, before to share
after the break,
naona hapa hivi comments from YouTube. Trevivory is agreeing to the earlier conversation that we were having. Kenya was the best equipped military. The leader, General Badi, is the president who is a civilian. Why are you guys worried? That's Jeff Griffin. Jeff, I think we'll come back from the break with an answer for you, because
why are we worried?
Why are
what
we
did he say?
He's asking why we are worried.
What was his statement?
He's saying the leader of General Badi is the president, who is a civilian. So why are you worried?
We are worried because we are losing people right now. We've lost, including our watu wa nini, including, in fact, hata tusiende kwa watu wa kahawa. Tukienda tu kwa watu wa
the last 2 weeks
people through curfew, we've lost up to 28.
Yes.
Through police brutality, bro.
Me, I don't. For me,
why do you mean? Na saizi tunaelekea kwa election. What do you mean? If you're not worried right now, what do you mean?
Sahi, Jeff.
How cushioned are you?
The answer I can give you right now is, the president has decided to put the military in a civilian's position, heading into an election. How on earth is that not a red flag for you, considering we've been operating as a democracy? Why are we militarizing our democracy? Are we supposed to live with rules from the elite that have been forcefully imposed on us simply by the fact that they want to keep power? That's the question I would ask you, Jeff.
Anyway, let's meet up for the break.
Catch the 420 show every day from 4:20 to 7:20, hosted by King D and Jav the Perv, only on Rogue Radio.
They don't know about the block life. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They are on while I'm on right. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They ain't grow at the block side. Still doing Mazza in the front line. Niggas still gully in the 6 side. Still doing Mazza in the front line. Bad man, run up in your bando. Knick-knack, mash that work like Rambo. With that white, I feel like Django. Shut down, lock off, now they man, them know. Real bad man, who you talking to? He got soaked by that dark black youth. She, me, I'm that big bad wolf. How many bandos did I run to? Gambian bad, Mr. K Kunte. Follow my route, still I rise and take. Graveyard shifts of the day and night. Just my food that these fiends want take. For my money, I made a grand elevate. And they pray for my sins, for my devilish ways. For my money, I made a grand elevate. Put the spin on his devilish ways. They don't know about the block life. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They are on while I'm on right. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They ain't grow at the block side. Still doing Mazza in the front line. Niggas still gully in the 6 side. Still doing Mazza in the front line. My life, won't stop belling on my like. I swear I fell in love with the Nina, oh. They wanna take my life. Won't stop belling on my like. I swear I fell in love with the Nina, oh. Cloud rapping like the gully, but they've never touched body. Passion for the beef, I ain't sorry. Fell in love with Shelly. Nickname Betty, what I say Betty do now, everything messy. Star boy, you're grinding, trying to hit the belly. She got ching for the top on the netty. Bro got links for the desi, that means I too. Double cross I then it's. They don't know about the block life. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They are on while I'm on right. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They ain't grow at the block side. Still doing Mazza in the front line. Niggas still gully in the 6 side. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They don't know about the block life. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They ain't on what I'm on right. Still doing Mazza in the front line. They ain't grow at the block side. Still doing Mazza in the front line. Niggas still gully in the 6 side. Still doing Mazza in the front line.
Future bright ndo wicheki labda dunge digaga za welding. Form zangu wazikuwangi za wengi. Sako ndogo mambo ya mbogi sipendi. Gumzo na Mungu mambo ya urogi ndo sipendi. Malkia wa mamoto kakalisi. Been around for a long while kaka misi. Kaka empire tell me nani kama sisi. Kamna tani nyinyi ndiyo next wapishi. Undisputed soldier. Mushindana na watu wandevu na matoja. Solodolo nyinyi ni masteams na wachocha. Tukifika bank mina ball na kafunga kama JJ Yokocha. I thought I told you I'm a star. Papa hawezi zinguliwa na madaga. Melanin popping Cadbury with the bars. My peppers zinanicheki zina shout hallelujah. Oh my god. Mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu bigi. Mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu fiti. Mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu bigi. Mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu fiti. Boss lady mi ndio wakata mshahara. Same level na madon dada kakamala. Bring beef I take a big bite no wahala. Cause ain't nobody badder in the whole sub-Sahara. Hell yeah, mina mwonyesha kivumbi. Hii skill dai experience haifunzwi. Nimetoka ghetto mali youth akitokwa akichochwa akizoza na badilisho kichungi. Na makarao wanapenda chai. Boy akona currency ndo mina weza vibe. Fuko deep na mali pekee mina weza dive. Bila wave ya kuride sidhani wata survive. Wengi wata drown, wengi wata clown. Wengi wata frown wakisema na watarau. Wengi watarudi mashinani out of town. Bado wengi watabao na wanivalishe crown. Uno mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu bigi. Mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu fiti. Mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu bigi. Mikiki 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 mina fanya vitu fiti.
Family one, family done. Family one, better be family done. Hey, family one, hey, family one, hey, family one, better be family one. Yeah, family one, hey, family one, yeah, family one. Nobody family one, yeah, family one, hey, family one, yeah, family one. Nobody family one, yeah, family one, family done. Family one, better be family done. Hey, family one, hey, family one, hey, family one, better be family one.
Jege masanzu wa kwende onfinya kende jakseti kwangu ngunga genge magenge chanda masenke wa senge sprezo mamende riswa waroro wa uptown na snata prado wabebe nataka pia life ya kiposh etc Westpokot tulienda Luonyanga po tulimsupply machevra Mrane ringita machingrizo zote Oyo Lebi Center Saini dosha na liskeroshe RIP Tekra Change skill kama Vera Hit and run dead beat kakadera woko zabe na una hela, we ni mwizi mtu wangu saka wera. I'm among the chosen, hawana haria kwa choo. Hai kama padri, gunga na essence vile anaiban kwa church. Utiaji, that is a big no, for sure, for sure. Asapando place neza chizi, mtajua ni nando na run the show. Niligitch foreign bitch watamu, tena mtamu. Nikamshondani stay kukam, akasema anataka Kenyan spam. Mjoro aligeuka kipofu, tulimwekea mchele, akatoka pofu. Zangu ni madaga kwa kitovu, mtoto kumadana akalash ni kovu. Kuna maridheo kuist ni kugenje, zinapewa sera machungu. Hata system ni threatened, siwezi tisha sera mko mzungu. Jegema sanzua kwende, onfinya kende, jiakuseti kwangu, ngunga genge magenge. Chanda masenki wa senge, sprezo mamende. Riswa, waroro wa uptown na snata prado wabebe.
Kuja vibao unaweza tokwa. Yutu wamengoja mboka wakachoka, sahi wana room tu naitoka. Tupa mtupe tumeomoka. Stuka medhoka, ona hadi producer katoka na mgola. Kabala lazima ifall John do black man aweze kugrow. Tunachapa Napoleon kikolo wada ndo tunaingia show. Simamishwa roho ukuleta ngora. Tunafanya kakorio kwa dance floor rada kukutoka do. Huku down tumekula moto kama Shaka Zulu. Ambia rais
gang. Slim K, alright, let's get it. Yeah. You made this. Check it. Radani chafu sana. Radani chafu sana. Yeah. Slim K, alright. Yeah. Hey. Kifungu ya jiji ni moja, nipate city yani gota. Hakuna kulala ni mboka, nimejipin kwa toja. Hey, drip ni clean, mambanga kukam tusafishe scene. Hatutambui mabani, leta nare washa mali. Nimejipin na AK, fuck 12 jo fuck manjege. Na daidem kaka mene, do tusake mapesa na goro. Na omoka na rap si loto, niko booth na skenga tu joto. Juma tracks ni lit ni moto. Everyday tunasaka tulali, life si easy manzeni bahari. Slim Calif me hot kapasi, miku wa rapa manzesi bahati. Mina rap kondege my hood, missy snitch keep it understood. Toka nyuma na give her the wood, left a ghetto manze just good. Atu sound the same, missy gang get on. Got the plug all into my phone, shada mbili niko in my zone. Postco streets, come alone, me ndio king basi give me crown. Missy vibes lakini cartel, napataka 5 na gaza to 10. Sibi the gang, yondo the clan, sikura easy. Hey, fala libonga sasa cheki tuko mazishi. Alikangwa na mbogi ya watu wamedunga tiki. Life ni fiti nipate tu niko majingri. Gota ndo city lakini manze si rahisi.
Fala libonga sasa cheki tuko mazishi.
Alikangwa na mbogi ya watu wamedunga tiki. Life ni fiti nipate tu niko majingri. Gota ndo city lakini manze si rahisi. Maninja kama turtle nimekam wana fumble kama Kendrick manze niko humble. Hizi gangs ina rap ni kumumble. Kama una shida monchoka daily nipate na mbogi ya gota. Shada magwilis tunaziporora kama ni rato ogopa. Slim Calif na Jomini noma na washika ni kama ni homa. Isa jango mindo King Kong leave me alone manze niko zone. Aga ni big kaya corazon mina dem yako tuliunda pon. Huku kwa ndege sibi ndo madon. Hey ya bamba safi kanga blaina rada gani washa vela shika ayela natapa ni kama ni FIFA mkono kwa hewa tadhani miujiza. Siku rahisi hey, fala libonga sasa cheki tuko mazishi. Alikangwa na mbogi ya watu wamedunga tiki. Life ni fiti nipate tu niko majingri. Gota ndo city lakini manze si rahisi.
Fala libonga sasa cheki tuko mazishi.
Alikangwa na mbogi ya watu wamedunga tiki. Life ni fiti nipate tu niko majingri. Gota ndo city lakini manze si rahisi.
Non-stop music.
Oh my God! Yo son, you're listening to www.roadradio.live.
More
Nikampo Cindy's and Taliban. Local ready to ban them off so ban. Ready to put this thing in flame. It's your theory, he new prac. Under pressure, we don't crack. GTA, we whip them back. Painting at your back, na deal pongi, I didn't spark. Baby, catch you later on it for nani, I can't remember. Moving on to the next agenda, na de kutwa hidi on temper. Hitting my up na temper, na chakwa sinners, things are catch up. Na battles jage momentum, aim for the head, aim for the chest. Fucking blade, na kiss my blade. Shimoka daza kutoa ujinga, blade sinki fika kwa spin. Even though blade na go to sleep. RIP, you fucking pussies, easy side to pain you pussy. Boo. Shots kakumi, blade na libake, kika kichungi. Aro kwa hat na missy cupid, hissy game. Hissy movie, you do me, you mind my business. Hoodie na mask, match pin ki stainless. Come kunichocha, spend this statement. Kama ni hona, tap na latex. Staki kuget am latex for now, mute nikiwa on road. Ikijam mute and true green, kama ni beef na soft your cold. Kwa sina wacha ki bleed, pagan bitch na hit. Adi na bida medash, tukimit kwa chomsi na jua ni noma. In short, salamu alaikum, ex na liaja wai tupona. Akikama na ruki ya bona, lichil na genga kakwa tu stona. Jeno na geuza mona, tikampo sin kachafua proper. Na hit them back like boba, kama ni up na mchafu na kopa. Head shot asifike kwa doctor, likampo Cindy's and Taliban. Local ready to ban them up so ban. Ready to put these things in flame. It's your theory, he new prac. Under pressure, we don't crack. GTA, we whip them back. Painting at your back, na deal pongi, I didn't spark. Baby, catch you later on it for nani, I can't remember. Moving on to the next agenda, na de kutwa hidi on temper. Hitting my up na temper, na chakwa sinners, things are catch up. Na battles jage momentum.
Mason.
Tano, nane, yo, tulika mnatumia kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich, tomoke and short. Nikilala macha maisha yangu kwa mikono ya God. Ade mkumbuke when I'm gone, mwendele kuplay our songs. Eje na right do what's wrong. Tulika mnatumia kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich, tomoke and short. Nikilala macha maisha yangu kwa mikono ya God. Ade mkumbuke when I'm gone, mwendele kuplay our songs. Eje na right do what's wrong. Sasa nalipa watch nikipull up na kirifle. Society na tanti na fumble. Wativu wanatiki community kama ma-idol. Wanatupenda juu tunaenda viral. Nilikuwa kwa mood mbaya, nikaseti kishash, nikakuwa idol. Kwa ground mambo ni nare, maboy wanafaa reform. Lakini wata reform maja na shajwe ganji toka na ndom. Niko safe, niko fit hizi zone. Wazi nishow venye weni mrong. Kama ni chamboge mshua, niko na watu strong. Hizi streets nataka kwa mpole man, yo, ama utapangwa. Breshoko stick na magun, huko east, ama tamangwa. Pereka huko kitani, tajali, hautalambwa. Mkono zime tight, mseta ni try, ataganda. For real. Tulika mnatumia kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich, tomoke and short. Nikilala macha maisha yangu kwa mikono ya God. Ade mkumbuke when I'm gone, mwendele kuplay our songs. Eje na right do what's wrong. Tulika mnatumia kutoka kwa block. Yani to get rich, tomoke and short. Nikilala macha maisha yangu kwa mikono ya God. Ade mkumbuke when I'm gone, mwendele kuplay our songs. Eje na right do what's wrong.
Na mina dai so my trophy na kaunan oh my ganji man, mina dai kwa na profit. That's why mi kwa office men in black to me rock makoti. Lately mi trust my naughty, maisha yangu na chia sa godi. Flow ni yake ya majabu na hii beat ni choppy. B-boy si set my trend na si set my subject na nimekam rock my blue farm. Chini ni red carpet, my fan one piece talent. Hadi de wata blow your trumpet. Shash iko chokwa chales, mina jikil, close your curtain. Na missy dem my ops, wajue villain draw your pattern. Ukudeli si run my ops na unazani ni sakas. Dukumbosi uleta fracas, kama ni drill, close your chapter.
tulikuwa mnadreamia kutoka kwa block, yani to get rich, to mock and short. Nikilala macha maisha yangu kwa mikono ya God, ade mkumbuke when I'm gone, muendelee kuplay our songs, eje na Emra do what's wrong. Tulikuwa mnadreamia kutoka kwa block, yani to get rich, to mock and short. Nikilala macha maisha yangu kwa mikono ya God, ade mkumbuke when I'm gone, muendelee kuplay our songs, eje na Emra do what's wrong.
This is Rogue Radio.
Yeah. Now chill on my goonies with GT. Yeah, they copy, they tryna be CC. Got my girl on Chanel, CC. In my rapper, no cap and no keys. Tough, wanna chase. Now my Kali pia mimi na chase. Number one to kick, I'm call your race. CC Kali Lakini, the best. Now chill on my goonies with GT. Yeah, they copy, they tryna be CC. Got my girl on Chanel, CC. In my rapper, no cap and no keys. Tough, wanna chase. Now my Kali pia mimi na chase. Number one to kick, I'm call your race. CC Kali Lakini, the best.
I'm not the wave, huwezi relate. Mimi si doctor but I medicate. Kuja kwa game and I made them surrender. I take him out kama date ya kalenda. Johnny mazishi, wewe unitishi. Hata mukuje wawili. You tryna copy, you can never be me. Get in the game and get a Lamborghini. Money on my mind right now. Mina Don Lulu on the track right now. Kenya to the world, we gon' make it right now. Yeah, we gon' make it right now. Speedy kama nganya za mjini. Mina dem yako ako hapa na sisi. Tuko tu magode na makali tuko tipsy. Tuko cloud 9, manze Jonas skia different. Niggas tryna beefing, I ain't really with it. Pull up on your block, niko na sticker na missing. Fala ako missing, ako kwenye TV. If you tryna cross me, unaenda on the TV. Yeah, you keep on losing. Mina the game tuna win. Yeah, hey, you keep on losing. Mina the game tuna win. Let's get it.
Now chill on my goonies with GT. Yeah, they copy, they tryna be CC. Got my girl on Chanel, CC. In my rapper, no cap and no keysy. Tough, wanna chase. Now my Kali pia mimi na chase. Number one to kick, I'm call your race. CC Kali Lakini, the best. Now chill on my goonies with GT. Yeah, they copy, they tryna be CC. Got my girl on Chanel, CC. In my rapper, no cap and no keysy. Tough, wanna chase. Now my Kali pia mimi na chase. Number one to kick, I'm call your race. CC Kali Lakini, the best.
CC Kali Lakini, the best. Pull up on you na nisha dunga vest. Ace on a chest, S on my chest. Kama ni hater, Buddha fika best. Born in Canaro, where the bitch is really shallow, but they thinking ain't narrow. Hand on the Bible, focus on the grind. Money on my mind, fuck going viral. Shit is a spiral, bitch, I'm never idle. They be looking up to me, I'm an idol. Taking back to the hood, Meghan Markle. Yes, it's petite, but it troll in a circle. Control the streets, CQCC, roll na machura madem. Wangu huwa cuties, na tuki pull up na mandudi. Mdre kuna jama ana shono na uzi. Ata na ya, hana hata haya. Kintaja saju ya, anakanyaga waya na nyaya na Johnny na Gerena. We come with the fire, we tapu, we tire, kuchoma kitaya. 2021 ni fupa sitaya. Morals gani na attack malao. Musema kila mtu anagwaya na dandia beat kadonda na slide kama nunu iko ready kugongwa na kama karako ready kuhongwa. Sini wale tunapendaga kunyongwa. Achana na manzi yako hana kitu ni kututu. Ni mchip kabei ya mtutu. Benchi mejaa na game ni ya mtutu. Don't care what you heard cause I heard it too. Don't care what a nigga say or a bitch. Na kutit kama Dan Hilson na Ezra Street. Slim K say pull up even on a this is keys. The comments and you kutit kama Dan Hilson na Ezra Street.
Welcome back to the 420 show. Kama kawaida only on Rock Radio, tukimalizia kama kawaida pia Wednesday, hii Wednesday inafaa kuwa ladies night. Wewe ni msingo.
Wednesday iko slow lakini itakuwa kesho itakuwa slow. Kesho kwanza tutakuwa
kesho sasa tunatafuta nguvu ya kesho. Kwenye zipang.
Kesho za kasa itakuwa zipang. Tukupang.
Mkiweza vaka yule dem please come water our eyes. As in come and make us have some eye candy. Not that atuende kwa chota. Tunataka tu wakuje tu tuangalie tubambike.
Like in the morning,
the chick had some effort on that shit, man. She says she shaved.
That was thoroughly some thorough waxing.
Huyu alienda wapi? So tafadhali msidunge vitu kama hizo alafu ati uchapwe mboto kwa uongelea ati fashion you want us to see some nunu.
Oh my God,
have you heard that Chile huyo mwenye alikuwa na rap?
You guys
kupatia nunu na irarua, umesikia? Sasa anakupatia
sisi ni wale wenye huchoke, right?
Man.
Do like
they don't just do blowjobs, yani unajua si ile ati ile
choke on that shit.
Choke the guy out like
sloppy toppy, bro. Paka na kuspitia ile
You should play. What is she playing, dude? What is she doing, you guys?
She's spitting on it. Yani hiyo umemchoke bana, ametoka na mucus na kila kitu alafu anairudisha on that day just to unajua yani tu ikuwe ready, alafu unajua pia uko chini yako wet ka fuck. By the time unaingia wewe unatoka huko unadhani uko na mtaro kuna tu demos of excited. Anyway, tulimalizia na the previous segment ilikuwa tunaongelea police brutality, which was a very as in sioni kama ni kitu we can stress enough, unaona like and I started by saying kuna ngoma fulani wa Kardinali wanasema kuna siku youth wataungana. I think ndio hii ina come up.
It's true.
Itafika time sasa it's gonna be us against the
authorities
and your time itakuwa ugly.
Do you think what happened in Nigeria remove the squad that was formed, but that whole thing of the not revolt, but the people standing up like enough is enough. You can't keep killing us without even giving us an explanation, or let's just start from the fact that you can't keep killing people and saying that it was in the name of the law, or they were breaking the law and stuff like that.
So you see here Nigeria hata kuna time nilikuwa nasema hatujafikishwa mwisho. We haven't been pushed to the wall, like there are some things si vitu za kusema. It's like I can tell you about a revolution na nitakwambia vizuri like textbook way venye revolution inafaa kuwa nini, but if the people haven't reached that age
or that
point, then that's just incitement, unaona. Vitu zingine tu zitajibuild, man, unajua. Like kasa hizi imefika point, the policemen are not coming to create peace. We are scared of you people. At this point we are. By the time naona karao nasikia tu nishaogopa.
The original mandate when they went there was I'm sure supposed to maintain order, law and order. Then when the people started, as how Kenya our protesting and demonstrations, they become violent very quickly. Then when the cops see that, they also overreact.
So ndio anasema ati there is no way unaweza attack karao na karao sku attack back. As in, I'm frustrated, man. Unajua huu karao was built up for this shit. Unajua huu karao akuji tu ku create law and order. Unikara alisomea hizi vitu, alisomea
when you see people demonstrating, go for them, is that?
Yeah, there's a way you need to relate to those people. Juu kuna msee mwenye akigrieve anaweza achilia. But jamaa the OCS na anasema
your shit it's so picturesque, lakini mpaka leo ni vile hiyo jina ilipotelea. Lakini wale watu wote wanatambua GSU, watakwambia GSU ilikuwa inaitwa FFU,
fanya fujo
uone.
Lakini kuna hiyo unit kwa GSU.
That was a flying squad, you people.
Kuna hiyo unit bro kwa GSU bro. Fanya fujo uone, inaangushwaga watu 10.
Sasa unaona
only 10 people bro.
Only 10.
Only 10 people, and those people will clear that area.
Those are elite squads, right?
Our wakuji, they're not being brought.
They're not coming for discussions.
We are not coming here to negotiate. We are coming to clear this shit out.
But Dizo, honestly.
So saizi ni kama the entire police force ni FFU.
True.
Unaona everyone now ni kama amewekwa, you know what? Ukiingia huko, ingia na murarue. So it's no longer the law and order.
you break it down and you bring in the enforcement, right?
So long as tu karao ameitwa, unaona, as in kama saizi hata tuko point yenye kuna karao fulani kosto, nimemsahau jina, picha yake, kuna venye picha yake imerotate pale kwa social media. Imerotate kama sijui there is a tuk-tuk guy mwenye alimshika, the tuk-tuk guy akamwambia venye akona mtu hosi nini need to raise 4 Gs. Hebu imagine tukamsifu. Now, I'm not saying kumsifu ni mbaya.
Yes.
Totally, si ati ni mbaya. All I'm just saying is tunasifu mtu for doing their job. Yani we are that low in the standards of expectations mpaka msee akifanya job yake ni hero.
I remember us having this discussion before, something similar.
Where
we were like,
I think it was
you can't. So we congratulate them when they do something good, yet that is their job.
That's their job.
And we demonize them when they do something bad, yet that has almost become part of what.
Now the what yo kuharibu. Welcome dom. Choo imekuaje? Venye umetulia hivyo unajua. Najua ulikuwa umejipanua hiyo choo bado. Hope you went with enough tissue, man. You know you're back here with no socks, man. You left with socks, and I'm like.
Wow.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm at but you good? Yeah. Ulikula nini, bro? Isa, man. Yeah. So hiyo sensitive stomach yako tafadhali siangushiwe makarao. Wacha nikwambie hata venye tuko kwa table hapa hivi kuna kitu us we didn't experience. Ile time ya nini ya emergency, ile time inaitwa gaje.
When there was a coup over here.
Yeah.
State of emergency.
State of emergency, yeah. Manze si we didn't experience it. Mimi nakumbuka I think ilikuwa mtoi sana hiyo time, but I remember manze nikielezwa hiyo story. Makarao walidundishwa everywhere.
Yeah, the army put out these checkpoints towards that Langata down there, the Ongatarongai.
Paka walikuwa naingia kwa manyumba.
That was it the 70s? That was this
1982.
1982.
Mwanzo walikuwa naingia kwa mahao, nasikia yani ile broka una ID. Ndani nini? Kwani uko na space?
Because they didn't know who was part of the
bro, you're not being popped, but
you'll receive either beatings
in a way bana, buda ni wewe tunahusi. Yeah, man, like as in, you don't want the military dropped on the society, you know. So kuna hiyo time yenye tulikuwa tunakaa tunaogopa, paka saizi tunaogopa military ikidropiwa, but apparently the policemen wenye wanafaa kututekea wana reduce hiyo fear, they already doing it. Unaona, saizi hata unaogopa bana kupatwa nje ya curfew. Bana unapatwa na karao, unanyenyekea, ukolekee bana boss.
I might not go back home.
Please man, unajua nini, sina kakitu.
I think it depends on the area.
What do you mean on the area?
That's also true.
Like kuna areas zenye mimi nimetembea usiku, wala you can't even find any. You won't find patrols or cops on the
There's
road.
some areas near gated communities. There's
like
some select ones where, dude, the cops see you at night over there. They don't raise as much question as other areas.
Raise questions at all.
Na hiyo ndio kitu tulikuwa tunamalizia nikisema you need influence.
Yeah,
let's not say money per se, but money on the short term part, you need money. On the long term part, you need influence and contacts. On the long term part, unajua kitu yenye itakuweka hata kama hauna do, kuna mtu unaweza pigia
but unajua kitu pali where the society is going, it'll get to a point where you might have the connects and everything, but money, I've said, even last time nikisema, you're not ugly, you're just broke.
Okay, you're not depressed, you're just broke.
You're just broke. Like unasikia that's why
I
unasikia
don't believe you people.
Yeah,
No.
for real,
Continue,
man.
continue.
like you're not
continue.
ugly. Let me know, this is the truth, yeah? Like you're not
Uh-huh,
ugly, you're
uh-huh.
not broke. You're not ugly, you're just broke. Because when you look at it, right now if you put a poll, how many people would rather die in a Benz than on a bike? People would pick the Benz. I'd rather die rich. You know, and it's a real thing. That's what society is heading. It doesn't matter whether you have connections, because even those connections will still want something at the end of the day.
No.
Kama wizi wanunulia chai, kama wizi wanunulia, kama wizi wa...
hiyo si connection.
You think you kenye mnasema ina lean towards kenye Dizo alikuwa anataka tuongee about hiyo story ya millennials. Ukiangalia sai, first of all, let's get this right, because many people don't know who the fuck a millennial is, but who, according to you, who would you say is a millennial? Before we get to the dictionary.
Generation Z, people born between the late 80s and early 90s.
Born between the late 80s. You're actually right about that. So the reasoning na mentality ya wase wenye wako born around that time is a very modern sort of reasoning. Na it's an adaptive reasoning. Kwa sababu kuna issues these people found that they couldn't solve, but they found ways around them. And the ways around them are what are feeding into what we are, the kind of problems that we have in society right now. For example, mzae wangu hata jiweka kwa hiyo situation yenye hata atajipata kwa ngori na sanse, na hata akijipata kwa ngori na sanse, sanse hawezi mtreat the same way venye atatreat hata Mavo ama wewe Dizo. Unaona? That is by simple fact ya kujua umse akona a different set of experience na umse mwingine mwenye is much younger, ka venye Dom alihandwa na masanse. Unaelewa? So the cops know that millennials at this particular are so afraid to stand up for something. They would rather, I would rather make sure or keep my phone safe rather than record something wrong that is happening, which is involving a cop.
I think it's actually more, yes, the vice versa. Millennials will more or less talk about something.
That's what I'm saying. As in maybe onyindo mjanielewa. Nasema wale wase wazae, hawatapitia shida zenye tunapitia because their set of experiences are different, and as such the police will treat them somewhat differently. But as for you as a young lad, the police have already profiled you. They know exactly what buttons to press for you to do whatever the fuck they want. Because sahi ukishikwa na sanse, whether you are right or wrong, ukianza kuambia sanse ati niko na right zangu, usha mess.
Millennials will most likely do that.
But unaona hiyo shida ya kusema uko na rights zako, shida inakuja juu au juu hata hizo rights zako. You know, for us that's most like that's basically like a reflex. A reflex statement. Unadhani sijui rights zangu ulizwe ni rights zako ni. No shit.
That's true.
Very true.
Unajua ni movie tu uko pale, let me call my lawyer, uko like hita huyo lawyer.
You call him from inside the cells.
Kuna wengine wako na hizo balls, unajua. So chenye na hata thank you for bringing the millennials part. Unaona Dom, what I'm trying to tell you, part ya influence. Part ya influence ni creating good relationships. Unajua? Haimaanishi ati nikikucall juu niko na contact yako ni fulani ati nakucall juu maybe I'm supposed to. No. Ni venye tumework na wewe. Unaona? As in, I'm not only working with you to gain money. Juu kiona kama mabuda wetu venye walicheza hao ilikuwa ni unawork na msee to create a network. To create a network. Unajua? Then they create a certain network which tunakuja tunaambua deep state. Bro, deep state is like a network. Because you on that side kuna venye umejitetea venye tunakujua. So me if nataka kitu yote from mahali, let's say niko na msemsik, utapata mtu kama mzae wako ni easy anajuana na mwenye Nairobi Hospital. Unajua atamchapia tu ni aje, unaweza ni organize hii na that nigga nani okay. Haya, let's say useme una need stories za shule. mzee wako atachapia mtu wa education pale, unaweza niorganize mtoi wangu ingi hapa.
Yeah.
But sisi millennials tuna rush kwa do bila influence. Bro, we don't even want to network. Unaona? So by the time mimi niishikwe na karao, sina no network, miche yetu najua ni do. Unajua? Sina mtu ateneza mpigie ni aje man. Unaweza ni changamkia watu wako hapa. Huyo mtu wako ni aje hasa, give me a few. Sisi tunataka kitu. You know? Mwazazi wetu wakipigia hao watu haikuagi inakuwa ile kiubeshte ati wewe tutapata na Friday basi wewe ukipigia mzae juu ku create connection, unapigia mzae yako sawa nimeongea nao alafu utawapatia hii kitu. Unaona hakusaidii, ni ile tu wewe sawa ushasema unanijua now sort them. Because there's no networking. Unaona? Na hiyo ndio hiyo part nakwambia contact yenye sisi hatujajua kubuild. Sisi kama millennials, that's something we should know how to tunafaa kuata hapo ndio pia wazazi wetu walifail. How they didn't tell us venye wali survive. Unajua like hiyo networking na nini, you are asking how Rawa has maintained, right? Bro, Rawa maintain through influence.
Yes.
Unaona Rao anaweza make calls fulani upate job fulani. Na si ati analipana. Na pia wewe ukipata hiyo job si ati unalipana. Ni ile tu wewe ukipata pia hiyo job kama tu kaka kitu ka fulani unampatia ile asante, appreciation. Unaget? That's how that nigga survived, man. And most people even when you survive unaweza pata si ati hata watokezei kwa top 40 ya the richest people, lakini anaishi ka top 40 of the richest people. Unajua akitaka kwenda kwa ocean pengine kuteka tour anachapia bishti yake mwenye kona yacht. Ni aje Joho bana na kama hivyo na familia ni unaweza ni organize na real quick bro. Don't worry. Because when he moves with an economy. Rawa kiingia in a certain place, hiyo economy kuna venye either atakuja na investors and then pia yeye kukua tu hapo kuna watu wadogo wa mayai ina raise na si Rawa peke yake. Unaona the Oginga family,
even the Kenyatas themselves,
the kina Moi tu ni venye familia yake yako, lakini bado iko na hiyo influence. Like what stake do you have for us to have this convo on this table?
I think conversation yenye pia tunafaa kwa tukihave ni we call ourselves millennials, and the conversation that we are to have is half-baked millennials or professionals. And this is by fact of sahi wase wengi wenye wako job sahi wako above your age ya between age ya 25 to 35 hapo ikienda sana 40. Hao ndo wase wenye tunaweza ita millennials because they have a modern mindset. But kwa swali yenye naweza uliza ni what the fuck have we as millennials achieved in terms of bettering the society? Well, if you would say, because right now a majority of leadership positions are held by millennials, would you say that there's any difference, especially to the positive?
We have drawn light to issues. They have drawn light to issues, millennials, with greater concentration on those things that readily affect them and daily affect them.
Like what, Marvin?
Something which I think the past age groups did not do as effectively. Then because of the media of fora we have right now, with which we can display all these things and the traction it can gain, that is one of the things they have done, bring it right to people's phones and to their eyes so someone can see something. However, with that has also come the growth of fake news, right? So in that aspect, if there's monitoring there, I think that's the good which has come of it, which they have brought.
Okay, that's you, Marvin. What would you say, Diesel?
Me personally, naweza sema whatever has happened imeonyesha potential ya what millennials can do. But there's nothing positive out of it. And the reason kwa nini nasema there's nothing positive out of it is because there's no role model to shape the energy and the focus
the millennials are having.
Because tungekuwa nayo, then we would have been somewhere by now. You say ukiangalia most companies zimeboostiwa na millennials.
Actually, the M-Pesa idea was created by a millennial.
By a millennial.
As far as leadership goes, to add on to what you're saying, it's like we are being told we have to eat apples, but the basket with which we are supposed to pick them, you can see each one of them is diseased in a specific way. So if someone tells you, go pick an apple to eat and add a healthy apple, you have to pick the best out of the worst that is there.
In fact, hiyo basket, unajua hiyo basket iko hapo, and then inafaa kukua how it's supposed to be. Ni our leaders wetu, wazae. Not even watch and same leaders, you hata tuko na millennials kwa leadership. Hao wanadhani wanatusaidia,
but they are doing it for themselves.
Not even for themselves. Hata wenyewe wajui wanakuwa nini? Wanakuwa influenced. Unajua? Inafaa kuwa hiyo basket yenye kwa hapo ni wazae wanatuonyesha ndio hii apple usione ni mbaya hivi. Unaona hii ni apple unaweza ichukua uidishi na or get hizo seeds and get something out of it. Or unaweza chukua apple unaona imeharibika uichukue tu uiende ukaimeeshe. Unajua it's not just about eating like right now.
But Dizo, I think just like you're saying, I would support, but still add onto the analogy that Marvin is trying to put up. Yes, you can pick up the apples, but we as millennials ourselves are the rot. We are the rot that we are seeing in the society. Because
it's the people.
It is like generational.
That are the rot. Alafu uone shida ni wapi ni watu bado wako kwa positions. You see him is wondering how is Raila still our leader. Me Juzia was wondering hata wewe mwenyewe ukashtuka Mudia Wori ako alive.
Na yeye ndio youth representative.
Bro, that nigga was no like as in sijaiweka kwa ubaya, but as in something is kushtua. Alafu considering kuna time alikuwa in charge of alikuwa represent youth.
The youth as in
like
that's how old.
And he was like was he 70 something when he was representing?
No, he was representing the youth when he was 70 something.
Mudia
Wori, bra.
The fossil
represent youth.
The fossil and I represent.
But you know there's a let me tell you it's I agree with Dizo, Marv, on that point of it's the older generation. Let me give you a good example.
No, that's what I agreed. That's why I said it's generational.
Solidify that thing, yeah. When me and you, Marv, we go to a company, right? We have studied. We majored what we are going to do.
Got a masters.
Do you know nowadays conversations is I can't hire you because you're overqualified.
That has always been an excuse. That has always been there.
It has never. Akitambo wazaya wako na hiyo excuse.
Because right now it's a serious thing. Like I have a friend of mine Juzi to the weekend and kwa nje pia anaenda job interview Dizo. I don't want to come we feel like you're too overqualified.
Because you'll demand more pay
but
than
I
is
can
stipulated.
guarantee you. Do you know why? Because he's young, he's educated, meaning he'll be able to fight for his rights. You understand? She's probably saying that from the angle hana familia, like he didn't have that much responsibility. But I assure you, if it was an older person, they would have never said such a statement. Because then they start thinking, oh, labda this guy has a family. They look at all these values, and that's why like. Right now, young guys are having a big problem in terms of even acquiring a job, because our generation, we are studying. Guys are like, Mseka via me master stuff, and me master kitu. But when he goes to look for these companies where these old guys are, they feel threatened. Via may come. These guys are using these guys. See, right now companies are going through software upgrades. They go through this
digital transitions.
The guys who are there. The old guys can't know that shit. You get? Guys like us are the guys who are going to come and show them that shit. They feel threatened. Now that influence this was talking about, yeah. Ile tunajuana hiyo kifavor. Au najuana ile kifavor ile kubeshte. Me, I'm going to walk into the boss's office and be like, yo, boss, I've been with you for a long time. My job, how can you give my job to Marv? You know? You know, and that generation, trust me, Marv, you won't get that job. You know.
Na kutufundisha.
Na you too. I will lie, Marv, you get that job. You will not. You'll go home.
You know,
you'll be told something like you're overqualified, or they'll pick something. Maybe your hair. They'll just pick
one thing. I can agree with you, but the thing I also want to add is, you know, there are various ways companies use to streamline who they want to hire, right? Now, if you're overqualified, right? Like, let's say all they ask for is a degree, but you come like 2 degrees, a master's, you're overqualified for that role. And secondly, the fact that you're overqualified means they'll have to pay you more. And if that is not in their budget for what they're looking for, trust you me, they'll use that as a line to like say, you know, we can't hire you.
But you see, the issue is ideally, right? You see, how many companies take that? Kuna vile you're overqualified, sindio?
Yes.
But you can have a conversation about it. You get? They can say, we're looking for someone with a degree, but you've come with 2 degrees and a master's. Are you willing to do this, and this?
Yes.
But now because you're young, you're overqualified, it's a big threat. That's a prime example is this government we have right now. The youth are such a big threat. Anytime we try to vie for seats, because we are fading out. You know, we are fading.
I agree with you.
We want to get into these positions, but they can't. Because they think we are unruly, they think we can't think, we can't.
Bro,
we don't have experience.
Hapo ndo nasema unaona hata usiseme ati you see,
we can't.
In fact, we are a generation of shortcut.
True.
Like
True.
ile shortcut hapa. Mali mi bado na complain ni there is no problem with our generation. The main problem is the people before us.
True.
Unajua hao ndio they didn't prepare us for this overqualification.
Skia Dizo, I think your argument haiwezi hold. Kwa sababu first of all umetoka kusema we as the millennials have learned to adapt, which means that from the mistake that these people did, we could have just as easily adapted to fight against or to speak up against whatever misgivings that they did at that particular time. It does not mean that because they did wrong, we continue serving under the same wrong circumstances which they left us under.
The question,
No.
just wait, even before you jump. The question I'd like to ask, you see, in all these recent sagas that have been happening, those are youth who are being thrown in. Those are youth who have been stealing. You know, the majority of them are youth people. So as far as to add on to what you're saying, we do have a problem with our generation also, because rather than adapt and pick more, if I can use the word, virtuous modes of doing their things, they are still going back to the nefarious ways of the past generations, copying them. That's why the deals.
And then adapting them, adapting to them,
Yeah.
improving them for their own benefit.
Our millennials have tried to adapt. We have tried to adapt. Kwa nini bado na blame hawa zae? These are the same guys akiwa na doo fiti anapeleka mtoi wake hadi nje kusoma.
Yes.
Mtu unajua, mtu unasikia amerudi ati amefanya chemical engineering. Ameenda amefanya sijui hizi atomic science nini. Wazazi wetu walikuwa wanatuweka bro, soma but they were not preparing. They had no plan B. How the plan A was soma, ukisoma utapata job. Unaget? Then sasa yenye sisi tumesoma tumemaliza ni hao bado wako hapo. You know, you plan B nafaa kuwa okay, sasa yenye umefika hapo, integrate someone in.
That's true. And that's where Indians are always rich. Because Indians integrate themselves into their family businesses. Africans don't do that
stuff.
As we
don't do. Wewe sasa unaambia umesoma haya, toka enda katafute kazi. Unajua pia mimi nilitamak. Unajua sijui nini, siku hizi unatamak nini? Siku hizi unatamak na kiatu gani?
Dude, like
unajua kuna issue fulani yenye I think atuoni. It says here in this article that the work from home revolution has been caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, has accelerated the fact that we are already seeing a greater frequency of professionals changing jobs more frequently, and therefore planning for executives like myself has to be shorter term for employees at all levels of the organization. It means that we as millennials are not, or millennial professionals are not sticking to one job. As in you would find that mzai wetu ama wazai wetu wangekaa kwa job moja, and by that virtue they'll be able to see the problems in that sort of industry, and as professionals they would easily be able to tackle those problems or create new solutions to new problems by virtue of their experience. I don't disagree to the fact that whatever Dizo is saying, we need to integrate the younger generation into the new system. But the issue is, we as people who are supposed to be integrated into the new system are least enticed by these positions by virtue of what? Money. Naelewa? Kama tulianza na story ya connections, inamaanisha umse anaweza kuwa kwa hii company not by virtue of merit but by virtue of his connections. Unaelewa? So it means that I cannot call him he's not a professional. Unaelewa? If he was a professional and assuming the circumstances within which he got the job were unajua the right circumstances, then ningesema cheki, this is a guy who needs to be here. Unajua, he needs to stay within this profession longer so that he gives more into it. But sai tunaenda kusoma for the sake of kusoma juu yo kenye unasomea hata probably si kenye utafanya.
But that's why
kwa sababu ukimaliza
una job.
Ukimaliza hata si ati story na job, ukimaliza ukiingia huko ni these old people you are still finding there. Unaona?
That's true.
Kwa nini naongelea ipate integrating if how wazae pia wangeamua kutoka waachie millennials. Unaona saa hizi ingekuwa si connections per se. Unajua juu hata mimi nikakuwa boss mahali, mtu akinikujia sitamuitisha papers first. Unajua nitamweka wera ni kuebudu hiyo kitu nione chenye unaweza do. Unaget? So pia wewe unafaa kuwa unajijenga. Naona unapata makampani ziko na millennials kama mabosses, ikwagi ni papers pekee wana nini.
Yeah, they look at a lot of other
a lot of other things. Lakini ukiendea mtu mzae wenye wamejaa kwa makampuni wanasema nini? Send it to my email. Send that sijui nini.
This is what the old guys are saying. They're saying the old guys are saying old is gold, but these new generations have several valid fears that have cropped up as they take over the global offices, professions.
Yes.
Continuity is one of the biggest worries for businesses as these generations take over an empire and empires that took years to build. Risk. Okay, got to wait.
Risk running
Continuity is one of the
into
biggest worries for businesses as these generations take over and empires that took years to build risk collapse. This has been evident in most Kenyan businesses when sons took over. This is because of a lack of loyalty to a particular job and their short-termism mentality leading to a higher attrition rate. Experts warn that one of ticking retirement time bombs when these generations exit the workplace owing to the lack of savings and investments and the folly of the young thinking that they will never grow old. Dr. Geoffrey Wango, a senior lecturer in counseling and psychology at the University of Nairobi, explained that salary is the most important factor in deciding a career path for them, and they do not care about the organizational loyalty, history, or culture.
Okay, let me answer you perfectly. When you party, for example, young sons and daughters ruining family businesses, have taken empires years to build.
Underground.
Let me tell you, the problem is not the young guys. The problem is the guys who started off that company. There's no you can't leave me a company.
Hata siko interested, wewe mwenyewe unajua hata si ati
you've never taken me to work. You've never asked me to come to work. You've never sat with me on a table to make decisions.
You've never introduced me
to your contacts. You expect me to sit on the chair
table
after you've built a multi-billion Kenyan.
Jenga the way you did.
No, it can't work.
Let
me tell you. For example, there's a story my old man ever told me. Once he had traveled and nchi fulani, walikuwa natembea hivi na masa, wakakutana na mtoi, maybe 4 or 6 years old. That kid told those guys, that kid told my folks, hey, book come, I have a shop. I'm selling. Hebu come, I have a shop. Dizo kuenda kwa hiyo shop, wakakutana na mzee wa mtoi. Mzee wa mtoi akacheka juu anacheki mtoi kuna passion ya biashara ya familia. You see that kid has been started on his 4 to 6 years. Even by the time that kid is 15.
Huyo tayari anaweza endeleza.
And he ran that company in and out. And that's why it's not in African culture for integration into family businesses. If
It
And that
actually
is why-
It is,
We've been
it
having
is.
witch doctors. We've been having.
but
medicine, man.
But
Well,
check it this way.
True. You're initiated through your
ya
lineage.
kuinitiate mtu ni kitu
apprenticeship,
kubwa.
apprenticeship ilikuwa kitu bigi sana then, but
Eh?
I agree
dude, it's
that
still- it's
right
still
now
permitted
sai
until
Sai-
today.
Let me say like Rano, let me give you a good example. Indians, Indian companies, Indian stronghold companies. If you look at them, the ones that have been started from the 19 somethings, those companies have been passed down to
Even
senior,
Chinese,
junior,
Chinese,
senior,
Japanese.
junior, like they are passed down, and you find that those kids go to uni, like unafanya biashara Strathmore, but you're told from a get-go, you're studying business to come work where?
Come work here, please.
But even by the time you're coming to work back, you already had
Hata
experience.
si business pekee, wengine hata unapata
Yeah.
kwanza kama Hindi unapata wengine ni madoki, lakini
It's a
weekend
family
Yeah.
business.
Ako hapo kwa
for
family
them.
business.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But Africans don't have that thing, sincerely speaking,
We-
because
we
we are
do.
selfish in
We
nature.
We do,
We
bro.
do.
We
Africans
do.
don't have
Bro,
they don't have generational
You
wealth.
never. There's
bro, the
some.
problem na nitarudia hapa is the
Mhm.
older generation, especially after colonization. Unajua hao tupeni mali mfuate Mungu. Unajua, so huu ni msemo mwenye utaona, yani yeye wealth yake mali anaweza iangusha ni kwa church, lakini
Yeah.
kwa akili yake ameweka you people are too lazy, yet ni yeye ndio ako too lazy, angekuwa asha kuintegrate. Una get
Yeah,
the
that's
problem?
yeah.
Basi ati haiko, ni hiyo tu point venye tulikuja tukakuwa colonized, si tukaona wazungu wa better than us.
that sticks true, Dizo. But then, what about
why-
people,
why
or
people
we are
have-
calling millennials who came from families that do not have certain
Generational
business.
wealth.
Unaelewa? Hakuna generational wealth. Hakuna bills zenye mimi nita take up. Unaelewa?
Uh-huh.
So now those are the people, and actually a majority of millennials are those people who did not come from families with wealth to hand down to them. So it means that at this particular point, the choice factor, watu wana make choices zao by virtue of kuangalia kakitu peke yake, as in ni nini itaniletea the most money in the shortest time. Unaelewa?
Which is true. Instant
So
gratification.
kumaanisha mtu yoyote mwenye anachukua job sahi hachukui hiyo job kwa sababu anapenda hiyo job ama he wants to add any value into that industry. The only thing they are concerned about is what they
their
will get
salary.
in turn. Unaelewa? So you find the quality of output that they give and such people give is actually very flimsy. And
But
that's
me,
why
I
you
don't-
find, like, for
me,
example,
me,
in
me,
the media
Meaning
right now,
tumezoea-
Me, I don't blame
tumezoea
them.
slavery, bro.
I
Tuko hiyo
don't
part ya,
blame
mi shamba
them.
inalipa fiti.
I don't blame the
Unaendea.
youth. Let me tell you, I don't blame the millennials, because look at the times us were going through. Look at the cost of living right now.
Every
Sincerely
generation
speaking,
had its struggles, you know.
Let me tell you, honestly speaking, and this is something me I'm firm by. The stuff our folks went through and the stuff us were going through are too different.
Naturally.
They are so different, and as our times are so much, they are way tougher. They are way tougher. Let me say why. In this generation, like zile mashida unapitia, unajua ka dizo se ukiambia mse such a sensitive topic like depression. Have you tried to, and this is, I'm saying from experience, have you sat down with the older generation ujaibu kuacha pia depression? Like how you can be depressed because you don't have kakitu. Them, they can't fathom it.
What? No,
Let
they
me tell you,
can't.
let me tell you,
I
they can't, kwa sababu
disagree,
unajua kwa
guy.
nini?
Let me say something.
Even
Hao-
they have faced.
I can tell you for a fact, kitambo notion ilikuwa ni you are a man, man. Unajua?
Exactly. So
You
them, they
are
can't
a fucking
understand.
man.
They can't
They-
understand.
Saizi we have been sensitized, bro. Saizi we have been sensitized. Kitu yoyote uko like, oh, you know, no. Bro. Tukaamka. Tuseme tu tumeamka tu uwe amua kudushi tunadu. Millennials are making it out here.
They are.
With depression and all that. No.
But you see, those challenges, Diesel, those challenges, they were not as profound as back in the day. They were not talked about because the older generation, you see, hiyo kitu ya kuwa tough. Unacheki? Ukienda uambie msee, them they see it as you should be tough. You know what I mean? As we went through this thing. Kwa sababu ukienda kumwambia msee kitu anakuambia, what do you mean me went to school without shoes? I never used to eat 3 times. They'll look at all those factors, they'll shoot at you.
Yes.
But you must understand that, like, this generation, all those factors come into play. For example, Msene is a part job, his dream job. But if he's not happy if they don't have happiness.
You see now that's the problem.
You know,
that's the fucking problem.
But it's
guys,
something that can't be ignored. Those conversations
no,
have to be had.
ndio maana nasema bro, hao watu wali drop ball
mbaya.
The moment wali drop ball wakaanza wakatuachia mama zetu ndio watu raise, we've all been made emotional.
Sasa swali ni hizo, tutatokaje kwa hiyo ngori? Tutatokaje kwa hiyo ngori? Kwa sababu saa hii hatuwezi sema ati juu wazae wali mess hiyo gedha na ni ukweli walitufuck up, ati pia si tutake a back seat tuendelee na.
Hapana, atutake a back seat. Saizi si wenyewe tunafaa saizi kuangalia situation venye iko. Unaona, tukubali first of all na musema. Let's first of all surrender, accept and surrender that we are also fucked up.
Yes.
You get me?
Yes.
Then now sisi we have to be pushed to the wall. Hii kitu yenye tunadhani solution itakuja tu at just by diplomacy imekataa. Unaget? And I'm repeating, kuna time youths wataungana. Na tutaungania na lazima tufike point tuone we are not going to fight at for us.
Fighting for generations.
You are fighting for the generation to come. Uambie brother, si tumefika hapa, ni watu wangapi saizo wamekuja wamerealize adulting is a scam. Bana tulikuwa tunaenda shule tukijiambia mimi kwanza when I finish school like this, first of all I want to live here, I want this car, I want a wife with 4 kids. Bro, you're hitting that adulting, you're realizing holy fucking shit, you know.
Yeah.
So tunafaa kuwa tunachangamsha watu wengine what these people didn't do. Sisi tumeiona as we are just maneuvering. Bro, if there's a generation that is confused and smart and strong, is this generation, the millennials. Unajua? We are everywhere.
It's true.
We are everywhere. We don't know a path to follow. Most people in our generation have chosen their own path. They are creating their own paths. Hizo ndo vitu hao wana chase.
Yes, yes.
Our dads, they hadn't chosen their own paths. Wenye walikuwa mbele tu, bro, ni chenye umesomea, kuna job inakungoja. Just perform well. You'll even be taken straight from campus. Unaniget? But sisi hata uperform well, brother, na huna connection. Mtu wako hajakunini. So hiyo ndo part sisi kama millennials I'm saying we need now to trickle it down.
Trickle it down.
To hawa watu hawa wadogo wetu. You know, wewe hauja make it. Sisi kama pengine wewe mimi sija make it, but kana ona potential in someone younger than me. Whether it's family or just someone, tunaungana tu, tunaonyeshana. Venye tulikuwa tunasema jana, if strong men wanaweza shikana hata kama ni wa 10, then tukue tuna agenda yenye sasa ni hivi ndio venye kuna kuwa brother, hivyo venye unaenda hatujakataa. Lakini it works like this here, it works like this here, it works like. So mimi saizi hata nikakuwa boss kwa company flani, I'm not going for CVs. You know, I'm going for a whole lot of things. First of all, itakuwa first of all, are you on therapy? Are you married? That's a very good question kwanza kwa
the therapy is a personal question though.
No, it's not.
That's personal, dude.
Bro, it's fucking not.
What
man.
question?
It is asking a person if they're in therapy. That's a personal question.
That's not a personal
question. During this time,
bro, unaweza kuwa yani ndio nijue the kind of environment you need. You get me? So in case anything, you saizi tuko hapo tumerealize you have to deal with someone emotionally, you have to deal with someone logically.
Yeah.
You know, we are millennials ndio tumekuja tumefundishwa kuna venye you have to find a fucking balance, bro. You have to find a fucking balance. The moment you find a balance, hapo ndio unaweza control vitu. Now, you sisi wengi kwa hapo millennial, hizo ni vitu tunalana as we go, then una realize nini. You trickle it down. Kama uko na mtoi saa hii, wewe ni mtu uko na mtoi, anza kuingiza mtoi kwa vitu zenye unaona zinamsuti. Kitambo ndio ungeforce mtoi kwenda shule. Saa hii ukiona mtoi wako ameivisha physical activities, ingiza yeye. Ukiona ameivisha creative activities, kama juzi kulikuwa na was it last year aka katoi sijui kako 4 years na kana mix ama piano hiyo time. Bro, uko na katoi kana do hivyo. anamkimbiza shule ndio ataenda lakini spare time zake
school will come secondary to his talent.
I'll make sure yani nimeguide your talent yani nimwambia bro hebu kumbuka kitambo uende waambie mzazi wako unataka kuwa DJ.
But do you see the schooling system, the education system changed because the person which used to have the 844 was not seen to be as to not give someone a competitive edge in the current modern day. So the education system changed, and then it's easier now for teachers to identify the strengths of a student and direct them in the path
Marvin,
they should pursue.
But you know Marvin, the problem with that teachers waki-identify mtu anarudi kwa mzazi mwenyewe hata hajakuwa
ajui hiyo form
unajua so it's contradicting.
It isn't because when they have those I do not know if they still have the PTA meetings and the like.
What do you mean
your child's strengths, because sometimes
meetings come after 3 months.
What are those meetings which the students come with their parents?
It is exactly the parents teacher.
Exactly.
It is
now with those
exactly.
there are some parents who have literally left their children to be brought up by teachers. You end up finding the teachers know more about the kid than the parents.
We agree.
Then the teacher can identify to the parent, you know what? Your son is not actually good in science, he's good in arts. So direct him in that field, encourage him to go in that field. That's one of the benefits of this type of system.
So basically no, that's not the benefit.
It is a benefit because
the benefit that is supposed to come is wazazi waambiwe watake hiyo like into effective like.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, as in by them pointing it out, because there are some parents who do not know.
Ndio maana nakwambia mao mimi nimeleta mtoto wangu nimemlipia, let's say nimemlipia 80 Gs or let's say hata 30 Gs per term. Ukuje tu uniambie mtoto wako manzeni muactive, huyu naona anaweza kuwa poor ball, na mimi I know nothing about ball.
The parents should take initiative.
Unajua, so it should be a solution. Yani pia ma parents waanze ku encouragewa that it's not all about school. Anyway, kuna kitu Java amesema hapa, wacha tuisome. Millennial drank the Kool-Aid of the hustler get rich quick mentality, which is very true. No one wants to put back into it anymore, but everyone wants to be rich now. This is the main problem of that generation, which is very true. Na unajua kwa nini sasa hizi we can't put we don't want to believe in the process. It's because our dads, it's because the people before us didn't take us through the process. That's what I'm telling you right now. We need to take these kids through the process. Tuwatolee history ya get rich quick. Tuambie manze by the time unaona mse, because hata ukiangalia watu wengi, let's say hata kapseme ma artist, you have been on that industry for a minute. Unakuja unaona mtu kama Burna Boy pengine amehit. Wewe unadhani aliingia studio, next day akatoka ngoma hit. Unasikia mtu kama Wizkid, unadhani aliingia studio akatoka ngoma ikahit. Unasikia mtu kama huyu wa TZ anaitwaje? Diamond. Bro, it's a whole hour ni kuna time ukisikia stories zao, kuna mahali walitoka hata hakuwa na Ferrari ya kufika studio. Unaona?
They put in the work.
They put in the work. So do inaingia wanairudisha hapo. Unasikia msanii anakuja anakuambia by the video manze, video hiyo nilishoot na 1M. Na si uongo, yeye mwenyewe ukimwona hana kakitu yet, but ameirudisha juu ana believe on whatever is gonna.
The prime example is even
Ronaldo, yeah. So you see, when people are given the journey rather than the outcome, then hapo ndio venye hao wengine wanaweza kama wakijua, brother, usione ati mtu yote anamuona TikTok ati alianza tu. Unajua as much as ni quick. Oni mtu pengine akashoot, alijaribu kuongea, hakuwaipata views nini, then siku moja tu pengine akadance to Okuonkwo na boom.
So are we all agreeing that right now we do not have any professionals working within our systems within government? Or if we do have professionals, we have just a bunch?
I think we have colliding professionals.
How so?
Kuna ile professionals yao wenye wamekataa kutoka.
Yeah.
Wenye wana create standard ya venye inafaa kuwa na hawaelewi. And then kuna sisi wenye tuko professionals when it matters. Bro, mimi nikaka mahali tuseme nafanya sales na hiyo sales haileti do, na mtu mwingine niambie ni aje unaweza kuja huku kwa presenter, nitaenda huko. Ni aje unajua unaweza kuja huku shoot video, nitaenda huko.
Doesn't that beg to a deeper conversation in that I feel and believe that if we had structures that provided a little bit more of opportunities for people in certain professions, that they would stick in those professions and be able to give more. Because fikiria kutoka Orengo atoke Nairobi University. How many more lawyers do we know from Nairobi University? Several, najua. But that is of that stature. But think about engineers, huku mechanical engineers. Saa hii tumefika level from your time yenye tulijenga Nyayo 1, the first vehicle that Kenya actually produced and manufactured. It means
the
that
body was heavier than the engine.
Exactly.
In partnership, was that
at
in
this
partnership
particular
to
time, if given the opportunity, our say wangekuwa able to refine that product to make it better, to make it more marketable, and that would mean that we have another revenue stream as a country simply by supporting our profession.
What you're talking about is diversification.
It is not diversification. It is the creation of industries to support these professions.
You see, there are already industries which are there, but when you say that, when I say diversification, I say there are many modes of which someone can get income nowadays.
Marvin, how many industries within Kenya can you count that have been established by Kenyans?
Keroche.
Keroche.
If it comes to
like multi-million industries that have been established from scratch. Because Keroche started now the minute she got traction, as in the minute Summit Lager to me mention, the minute Summit wali take the market by
Equity.
EABL,
Equity Bank,
all these other competitors.
Like they are V.
Bro, hizo zote zenye mnataja ni za family.
Yes, but we were asked for industry.
Those are not companies that are established by Kenyans from huku chini. Unaelewa? Hizo ndio au ndo wenye tunaongea the rich families that hand down, what did you call them?
Generational wealth.
That's generational wealth. Unaelewa?
And
they will continue to feed those generations. But what of these people? I mean, there's several thousand people, journalists alone, who graduate every fucking year.
Yes.
But the number of jobs that are there in the market is not commensurate to the number of people who are graduating.
You're a journalist. You're a journalist when you place. Marv, that thing hurts me so much, man. Because me, I've been in class with fellow journalists, like let's say media professionals, and guys are really into this thing. Like, and me, I can say personally, even from a bit of personal experience, I swear to you, that thing hurts, man. When you're going to look for these jobs, you know you have the talent, you know you can do it, you know that you've studied it, this is your thing.
Yes,
and then you go there, and then for months, years, you're hunting. I normally say this thing, and it's a fact. There's no way, Mav, you can study for 4 years, right? Including masters, let's put it at 6. And then you come in to be paid as a young guy. So unajua umesema sasa hii degree sio anything, rather it's about masters. Rather it's masters composition. Degree nowadays are normally seen as
like diplomas.
Umefika masters, then you go to tarmac. After 6 years of your life, from 22, you're now 26, 27, you're tarmacking. That time, you're unapewa pressure ya mtaa, you know? Get serious with your life, move out. Endo utafute hiyo kwako, get a family. And then you're being paid a basic salary. It's so like
you're being paid fair. You're being paid fair.
You know those things. Those things. I mean, personally, let me tell you, out of personal experience, that thing messes with your head. It even figured a point for me, for example, if I'm speaking from experience. There's a day I had to sit down with my sister, man. I told her, yo, this thing is messing with my head. I'm going for interviews and stuff, but I can never get a call back.
Let me ask.
But do you know sometimes sometimes I go to like personally right now I normally say they are radio personalities on air right now who I don't understand how they're still on air.
Who are unqualified is what you say. They don't have any
qualification. It's
Hata
about on
content
air.
wise, hata
Can I tell you something?
delivery.
There are so many young guys coming up, right?
Yes.
Guys who have mad talent. Guys who
And
can-
passion.
Can they have passion? But unaenda hizi media houses dizo unacheki mse
socialite.
Please.
Unacheki mse mwenye thank you.
Please keep in mind that many of the media houses, because of this thing we are going through, made job cuts. Many of them.
You're trying to bring up a point that is
no.
as in it is
Here
leaving
it
the
is.
conversation.
Wait. It is like deep rooted in this system. Anytime you see someone younger come on board, it is a threat to those who are already established there, even though the person comes with the skills that are required. But in the job market, they always pick experience over your degrees and stuff. If two of us, hold up.
How can you ask
Please
me
wait.
for a job at
Please wait,
KTN?
hear me
You
out.
ask me a job for an experience. You're
Oh,
5 years. You're a producer, and I
Yes.
graduated. I came for internship. You didn't even give me that fucking internship, and then you still ask me for experience. You're 5 years. Where am I getting from my ass?
You see what you're saying.
From the lessons you are going to in school, as in maybe you are to count those lessons. This is
You know that's exactly what the catch is. The whole thing about experience, because it's like this. If we are studying IT, right? I have been working in an IT company for 5 years. You've gotten your degree and maybe a certificate, right? If we both go to apply for the same job, I will have the experience. You will have the theoretical know-how. I'll have the practical know-how. With things like IT, they'll require you to have the practical know-how. Also, take another case in example. Engineering. You will have the theoretical approach to these things. But me, who has been on site, who has worked on sites in various companies, will tell you need a bolt that is cut to
Marvin,
a
the
90
discussion
degree
we are having
thing.
is the opportunity for us to be in those various sites.
I am trying to
is
show
missing.
you that we are hit on the experience thing,
Mav, that
and for
should
the ones
never
who
be an
actually
issue.
do, but it is
Let me
when you're
tell you,
being
Mav,
employed, bruv.
There's no way, sincerely speaking, let's just be very honest and very fair.
Yes.
There's no way you're going to tell me that you want me to come and work for you, right? Because you have had the experience. Me, I'm fresh out of college.
Yes.
You want me to, as an employer, you want me diesel nifanye kazi umsi wa 5 years experience. You know what I mean? You expect me and you to compete on the same.
No, that's
level.
why I said.
It
That's why I
can't work like
said.
that, but you see,
When both of you apply for the same job, you're coming with your background, your certificates and the like, right? I am coming with my experience. Now, to the employer, who is the one you pick? If the guy is progressive, some of them who are progressive, as he said, the millennials, they'll ask you, okay, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Then if you come to find out that the guy who has the degrees can do them to a certain level of expertise, you may hire him. But 9 out of 10, the person who has the on-hand experience is the one who's picked. That's the unfortunate thing. That's the reality.
That is fine, Marv, but what we are trying to make you understand is that the opportunities for us to get that hands-on experience
They're not there.
is limited. Hakuna hiyo opportunity.
You
That
see,
is why.
Solution kuna hiyo solution ulikuwa unauliza is bro, we just need to take a gamble.
These young guys, give them the experience.
Saa hii inafaa kuwa hata saa hizi kuna wale young guys wenye wako na hiyo experience, unaona? So let's just do away with the old people in companies. Let's do away with old people
or the
in
old
leadership.
method of vetting, right?
Yes.
Not old men. Bro, if you are old, they are talker. Unaona, mimi sielewi venye tunaweza kuwa na mtu ako 55 and above.
Yes.
Anakuja kukimbizana na
someone who's
24. You get me? As in huyo anaweza kuwa waende wakaunde consultant agencies.
Firms, yeah.
Unajua ile maybe kunaweza kuwa na kaishu, enda hapa
you gain your experience sasa.
You get the experience akueleze venye mmefika hapa, hii inaweza kwa hivi, then wewe pia as a millennial unampatia the other factors zenye pengine hawezi consider, umwambie so there's this other factor but na need help on he you know, but watoke, let's take a gamble and give the
young guys
an opportunity. Kama saizi unaona Deputy Jesus mwenye nani was Deputy Jesus mwenye alikuwa fired.
Deputy Jesus alikuwa fired.
Who is Deputy Jesus?
Deputy Jesus ni Ezekiel Mutua.
You see, if you imagine what I'm saying, kuna wakati walikuwa wanaletana back and forth na nani Eric Omondi. Bro, he was fighting a losing fight because your opinion zake ni
they're so outdated, man.
They're so outdated. Eric Omondi anamslash na opinion tu moja. Unakuja unakaa huko, bro, can't you just see mtu afai kuwa hapo?
Who is not supposed to be where
Ezekiel afai kuwa hapo. You know, I'm not saying that Eric Omondi is the one who's supposed to be there, but
in that beef issue or
no.
That position.
He was not supposed to be there. That nigga was in charge of creativity.
No, he was in charge of Kenya Film and Classifications Board.
Ashai act.
Nini?
Wasn't it during his time we saw a growth in that industry also? There was a lot of local.
Ashai act.
It is also during that time that we saw him ban, I think, 3 movies from Kenyan screens produced locally.
Yes, because the connotative message, the subliminal message they had wasn't one which was bored with.
But we're still watching gay shit on Netflix.
Yes, that's Netflix. The country, the CCK cannot control Netflix. That's up to the people. That's why the waiver comes. You have to be 18. People.
For you to be in charge of that board, kuwa umetoka huko, so that you can be in touch with the ground.
He's the one who even led to greater uptake of local cinema and local programs. No, wait. Look at what you're saying.
No, Marvin. You're giving me a standard of someone usiona mwenye ameact kwa hiyo position what he did or she did.
That's what I'm saying.
Have we ever given anyone who has gone through the struggle of film in Kenya?
Marvin, what is the position? What is the position of Riverwood as we speak right now? Just compare it with Nollywood. Riverwood and Nollywood. Nollywood,
you can't compare the two.
Nollywood, what the fuck?
You can't compare.
We're talking about locally produced content. Locally produced content supported by the government or by an institution working within government. The KFCB, like Dizo is saying, should be managed by somebody who is within the industry because he knows what challenges those people are facing.
You know, as much as what you people are saying is true, but I want you to also realize that thanks to him.
No, Marvin. Hey, bro, you are missing
the point. No, thanks to him. But I'm trying to show you not everything he did was negative, people.
Listen, bro, fuck that nigga.
Let Mavo finish, though.
Where you wait?
You know why I'm saying fuck that nigga? I don't refuse any. Jamaa, of course, alikuwa na progress flani.
Yes.
Right? I'm not going to go to that progress because the criteria yenye ilitumika kumweka hapo
First of all, is flawed. Second of all, how much money have local content producers made since he took office? Because we are talking about also the marketability of our films in Kenya,
so
which he's supposed to be.
Whatever he did, Marvin, which hatujakata. He did whatever he did.
But now, it's not enough. It's not good enough.
Hata sijui kama ni good enough. Do you know what I need? Is a good criteria. Now, kama unataka kuniombea about health na nini, you have to have been on that ground. Usikuje
you have to be the health ministry.
No, like lazima uwe wakuko. Bro, utakuja
in the health industry,
yeah,
right?
Unajua venye utakuja venye ukiwa as a good leader, which sijakataa, maybe kuna part unaweza kuwa a good leader, but you will never touch watu wa ground kama mtu amekuwa kwa ground. Wewe utakuja na formalities na theories. Uko like kitu inafaa kuwa hivi na hivi.
Na kuna vitu zitawaka. That's true.
Na kuna vitu hazitawaka. You see? So kama wewe kwa film asijakataa huo mjamali alifanya chenye alifanya, but tungekuwa na msee mwenye alikuwa kwa ground mwenye anaelewa hizo vitu, huo ndo msee mwenye tunaweza mkemea tumwambie. Unaona kama like there was a time on 90 plus we were having this show ya tukiongelea Nick, na watu had a lot of expectations from him since alitoka kwa ground, na yenyewe kuna msee alipiga simu na aka-explain akasema venye jamaa since aingie kuna vitu kwa ground zimefikishwa as much as kuna vitu hazijafikishwa.
Nick who?
Nick
Mwendwa, okay.
FKF.
Kuna vitu hazijafikishwa, lakini kuna places ametouch zenye the previous one hakufanya.
Yes,
unaona haya. Tukuje tena, kuna time tulikuwa tunaongelea president wetu kusema mkate ni 200 bob.
You said 500 actually.
Bro,
out of touch with reality.
You are out of touch with the ground. Now, hebu imagine uko na msee mwenyewe as a leader anakuja anataka kutetea tuseme whatever cattle rustling.
Even the comments he made on the lions in the national park. And kuna fikira nini sasa?
Bro,
the time he made
juzi huko kwenu kuna mtu wa Madrid alimadwa. Si ndio? Tukakuwa na leader mwenye anaweza tackle hiyo issue, aseme by the way hii issue by the ni real. Hii issue not kumadwa ndio ni issue, but hii part ya pia mang'ombe kuibwa is also an issue. But wewe kama pia unasoma hiyo story kama sisi, then how are you going to lead that situation?
He was wrong. Me kwanza Ezekiel. There's no, you're saying about Marv, you're saying about the content, PG content.
No, when he said the thing of watching on Netflix,
let me okay.
There's no way Dizo unaweza sema that in this, the way Kenya at the development level Kenya has reached that we can't find a way to control content to our youth. You get what I mean? That is why KTN will have the parental guidance. You get? There are measures, there are things that have been put in place.
That is why we have a watershed period.
Exactly. There's no way you can ban content creators who are unique in their sense. That is why, for example, even when you go to okay, for example, I can tell you as Maju, for example, you know Red Dead, the game that came out, Red Dead new game,
Red Dead Redemption.
It's 21 plus. Maju, you couldn't buy it unless you proved your age. You get? There are measures, and we can't be naive. Tuwezi sema content creation because of specific. That is such a.
It was a.
You see,
he was ruling
backward.
from a personal point of view.
That's
Wacha kwanza nisome part ya Unguru. Na please kuja show, you fucking asshole. Unguru says doing away with the old guard in leadership is not a clear-cut solution. Okay, look at this. Our Githeri government. We were told they're digital and so forth, but look where we are today. Bro, these niggas, in fact, hapo nilikuja nikashtuka, sijui Uhuru wako 16.
Na anajiita youth.
Anajiita digital ni bro, just being on social media doesn't make you digital, bro. You're not from this digital era. Haya, anaendelea kusema at the same time we are contending with fossils like Mudia warriors youth representatives. So your part you were saying that nilikuwa nikimalizia na he was ruling from a personal Ezekiel from a personal point of view. Unajua yeye from a personal point of view in the sense of morality ni based on his standards, not the content creation. Meaning he narrows it to by the way usipofanya vitu venye sisi mimi naona hivi yeye yezi endelea. And then pia his environment nyao watu tukaa yeye. Bro, when you have someone who's open-minded, you know, ata take a lot. Na ata guide watu, pia the team pia around them itamweka in line na venye vitu zinafaa kufanyika. I don't believe that the leadership criteria saizi venye inaendelea Kenya is right.
It's very wrong.
It's totally wrong, man. Tukianza na saizi hii leadership toka ingie ilikuwa i-create 10 million jobs. Bro, it hasn't created shit.
Jobs
unajua
laptops, stadiums.
Bro, kuna hiyo laptops, kuna stadiums, hizo vitu hazijafanyika. None of that has happened.
Not even one thing has been achieved.
So tunafaa kurudi saizi hata tunarudi hata kuna hiyo election, which I'm saying we don't need an election. Now hata tunarudi hiyo election, bro, saizi tusirudi ati kutetea hawa watu.
Just be walking your vote.
Bro, tunarudi tunaambia watu ni hivi. Kwanza mtu yote mwenye anaingia transportation docket,
history in transportation
na unatumia public service.
So you
public
know
service yenye wewe una support.
The only way tutakosa kuwa na jam ni wewe ukiwa hapo urealize
jam ni ngori.
Hii jam ina happen juu ya aina hii.
Not sitting in your
Not
entourage.
sitting ati kidogo sikia mnatulia hivi mnangoja mnasongeshwa magari mpaka wanakimbia opposite directions. Hao wako na haraka gani? Sisi ndio tunarania economy. Hao walipi tax. If you're in the health industry, your health ministry, lazima ukuwe ni mtu from the health industry. Ukikuwa mgonjwa bro, hiyo docket yenu yote inaenda hapa Kenya. No hospital will be improved. You saizi unakaa hivi tuseme wewe Marvin wewe ndio health minister. Kwa hivi kidogo uko ICU London.
True.
Bro,
True.
And then sisi hapa tunaenda tunajazana Kenyatta Hospital.
You don't know about how to improve the
you
services
will never
here,
know,
so
bro. Wewe utakuja tu na theory na benchmarking. Ati you know I'm from Europe.
So now do you see where the experience thing comes in? You have the experience of being in the sector. Rather than just talking about it.
So you can't benchmark
you know,
anything.
You benchmark better
so
when
your
you've been
experience, mimi naongelea see age. The
not
experience
age.
can even happen from like Juzi there's like something, one of the artists kijanas ananiambia he's been in the industry for 15 years. Alianza kurap akiwa high school. Na clearly manzi hadi ukifuata music zake anakuonyesha by the way tulitoa tukiwa high school. Consistency ameiweka paka sahi na si ati yako na kitu lakini si ati make it venye inafaa ku make it, but you can see yenyewe this nigga has experience despite the age. You get me? So as much as experience ni mimi nasema ni hiyo age factor hiyo
it's a problem. It's like the same way you can't quantify age to maturity.
No, here
your age factor. Mimi I want to enter a company nisipate mtu ako 80 huko.
You see,
huyo mtu ako 80 kwanza, what will he need or what will she need? Atakwambia kwanza hebu nitumie kwa email. Na hiyo email yake ndio umpate azisome zote. Buda naangalia zile zenye ni important,
urgent.
Ajibu tatu akwe like my day uko wapi tuende tukakule lunch. Hiyo tayari ashafanya wera. You get me?
Yes.
But sahi
tukapanza government parastatals diesel.
You see, when you talk about the people being in the sector, right? Being in the sector, so they will know how best to effect change from inside. That's experience of that, not labeled on their age or anything, but it's because they can apply it readily, you know?
But, you know, I feel like, Marv, I totally respect your opinion, what you're saying. But that thing of age being a factor of... me, in fact, if I was the CS for education, me watu wangeanza kwenda internship wakiwa high school. Haki ya nani?
No, the maturity factor is
by the time unatoka high school, you already know what you're going for.
By high school, Marv, by high school you've already selected your subjects, right? You know you want to be a doctor. True or false?
Prior to even
you want to be a pilot. You can be put in those environments. Because where are we going to say then? Because now the system, if there's no experience, there's no way, like what you're saying. You want experience, right? But
yes.
But from all the way, I don't know, maybe this new system has experience. But from me personally, from when I did kindergarten nilikuja kufanya work experience uni campus. So all those are how many years of my life? 20 years gone.
Internship and the like, huh?
Yeah, and then you want me to have 10 years from where?
Me in fact hata kuna nyingine nataka kuongezea. Kwa nini hiyo part pia ya uzee inafaa kutoka? Bro, right now unataka kwenda sherehe na amani. Saizi ndio unapata wanaume na midlife crisis huko. Vitu wako wanaweza tu. Someone is retiring when he's 60. Huyu ndio mnataka kushindana naye na dem. Bro, tunafaa kuwa in a group yenyewe it's so progressive. By the time uko 45, move brother, move, because there's someone who's 24, 20 something
who's seeking youth.
He's seeking that fucking position. Ukienda kitambo, even politically, kwani Bildad Kagia walikuwa how old? Kina Martin Luther walikuwa how old? Tupac kina nani walikuwa how old? Bro, hiyo pressure inafaa kukua ndio usikue comfortable kwa hiyo seat. Ndio hata ukienda kuretire brother, unaenda unakula sherehe, ukae huko mtu mzee, you are 60 ati ndio sasa umeweza kuretire, you can save enough to travel the world. Bro, you need to be traveling the world every day. songa kwa hiyo position, integrate someone, we
You
have a progressive nini.
You see that would have
So
been...
hata tukaanza kucompete na wewe na dem buda niko fiti, si kwa ati ni 60 hapo ati na tumbo iko huku.
That would have been easier if they adopted that bill, which was supposed to require all companies to have like a percentage of their workforce to be interns. But parliamentarians rejected it.
So have to apply to them.
Right there, you can see they snuff out all of our opportunities to get some of these offices, to get into some of these offices through the bills which they enact.
Our time is up. So man, we can end the show for today. It was a heavy day.
And please guys remember Thursday.
Kesho ni sherehe.
Thursday guys.
What
Today's Wednesday, tomorrow.
Zip.
Yeah, tomorrow guys.
Mazee, tomorrow we are at the Zipang Lounge na kama kawa mazee, sherehe ni bonge la sherehe ukiwa na Rogue Radio. That's why we call it Rogue Thursdays. Inaenda kukua pale Zipang Lounge kutoka saa 8 na tunawapatia offers, vitu tunaita Rogue offers. The first Rogue offer is a bottle of Tanqueray Mzinga na 2 peke yake. Na dem fulani hajawahi kutoleaga hiyo ngodha. Leta hiyo kitu marinate vifiti.
Kesho cheza safe.
Marination vifiti kwa sababu pia mashot ni ngat ni so tu peke yake.
Like
unapiga shot. So leta dem yako, leta nyanyako, leta nani wako. Kujeni tupige sherehe Zipang. And
man.
With DJ C Freddy.
It's been the 420 show.
We out.
We out.
This one's for all the politicians, them. Sure. Inna your face, them a smile up. Behind your back, of money, them a pile up. Try to start your business and them quick for spoil up. Hey, well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done a wonderful job at tear down with country demolition, man. Sibbly bang, well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done such a great job selling out with country with your business plan. Well, you forget a round of applause for all the work you're doing. Decisions where you make will left the country in a ruins, yo. Strictly personal gain you're pursuing, so the tax rate higher than the planes where you're fluing. We gonna make you deal with the IMF, knowing on a backside, none of sugar cane left. The hotels and the beaches, the Spanish them go screeching. Me no know how you do it, but all my office say is well done, Mr. Politician Man. I must congratulate you. You done a wonderful job at tear down with country demolition, man. Skibbly bang, well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done such a great job selling out with country with your business plan. What kind of plan? Which is to keep poverty and unemployment on the rise. Corruption and not to mention the lies. Election and when the tension arrives, so you buy with Kentucky, not to mention the fries. Anything to secure your vote, and then you rob the people to secure your vote. We go to Thailand where the Chinese own, the whole Jamaica is a Chinese loan. I tell you, well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done a wonderful job at tear down with country demolition, man. Sibbly bang, well done, Miss Politician Lady. You done such a great job selling out the country and you still not pay with. But still if inflation was a test you would not get A+. So when me met the US the exchange rate buck, cause the dollar getting weaker and the solar light bill it would have cheaper. But a JPS you prefer keep your Ebenezer. So you Scrooge from the ghetto people where you starve and every year you buy a better vehicle. The things you do are beat with bad but still you manage to keep your job. So me I tell you well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done a wonderful job at tear down the country demolition, man. Skibbly bang, well done, Miss Politician Lady. You done such a great job selling out the country. Come in like Humpty Dumpty now. Congratulate them, you know. Yeah, man, give thanks for the effort, you know. Yeah, man, enough things do not go on, you know. But you them see it still, so we give thanks. Yeah, man. Gangster. Kabaka P.
Rogue Radio, the sound of the revolution.
The youth we bust them gun for fun and I make blood run, Jack carry them home. The poor princess will sell her body for money, Jaja carry her home. For I have been a victim of my environment and ignorant thoughts, but my intent is genuine, so be a better man than I have been. No guts, no glory, become the fullness of the story. No guts, no glory, I am the only one who knows me. No guts, no glory, I'm a Rasta, not a OG. No guts, no glory, from the black dust I rise. The elders when they have nobody to cure them men and carry them home. The wife will lose her husband in a war, Jaja carry her home. For we have been the victim of mind control and pharmaceutical drugs. But like a lotus growing through the mud, I rise from the thorns and shrubs. No guts, no glory, become the fullness of the story. No guts, no glory, I'm the only one who knows me. No guts, no glory, I'm a Rasta, not a OG. No guts, no glory, from the black dust I rise. It is the people who make the damn choices. Just voice your opinion, let me hear your voices. It is the people who have them upple vibes, yeah, no matter how the government are gone with all them hype, yeah. It is the people who make the true decisions. We're not gonna be no lamb to be slaughtered through them inquisition. It is the people who know about this poverty, so then it means that we are closer to, oh yes, His Majesty. It is the children we're bringing back the wisdom of the ancient day, of the ancient base and skin drum. It is the children bringing back the power of how Babylon go melt and fade away in less than an hour. Sure. No guts, no glory, become the fullness of the story. No guts, no glory, I am the only one who knows me. No guts, no glory, I'm a Rasta, not a OG. No guts, no glory, from Mama Earth I rise. The youth we bust them gun for fun and I make blood run, Jack carry them home. The poor princess will sell her body for money, Jaja carry her home. For she has been a victim of her environment and ignorant thought, but her intent is genuine, so be a better woman than she has been. No guts, no glory, become the fullness of the story. No guts, no glory, I'm the only one who knows me. Yeah. No guts, no glory, I'm a Rasta, not a OG. No guts, no glory, from the dust I and I rise.
This is Rogue Radio.
Yes, Rasta.
All them black people that belong to Africa. So I say we all keep the giddy and hot. Aile! Hey, oh, Hey, Kalangola, up on my African Gola, Kalangola, up at Shamalang, Gola, Kalangola. Me burn the fire from Babylon. Nah take no chat from Babylon. Cause a you corrupt, you get a youths, we don't know wicked act, we know Babylon. When me walk, I trample down Babylon. Talk and ride down Babylon. Who know always they are with your clans and plans, walk up trap.